It's Miami Night Meltdown. And now, fresh off a sold-out weekend show at the Shady Grove Family YMCA in Short Pump, Virginia, say hello to my little friend. It's Comics Division.
Tonight. This is the first time.
Oh, hello. The audience, not the audience, the rest of the panel didn't see you there.
Hi.
They don't
Didn't
care.
see who.
The audience.
Hi, audience.
He's breaking the fourth wall.
I don't see
Oh my
anybody.
God! Don't do that.
Hope everyone's having a great Monday.
Fabric of the
So
universe will
are you
collapse.
Deadpool or She-Hulk in that regard?
Neither.
Oh, by the way, She-Hulk
No.
was so awful. Oh my God. If they bring that bitch back in this freaking not Endgame. What the fuck is this thing called? Doomsday?
She-Pool and Dead Hulk.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you that Doomsday is already fucking dead. Nobody
After
cares.
What she said about Disney during the Jimmy Kimmel thing, you really think they're going to bring her back for
Oh,
anything?
I doubt
they're
it.
doing
I
massive
don't think she would have
reshoots.
said that. I don't think she would have said that if she was involved.
If she was really,
I'm
cool
going to
that
tell
way.
you,
Exactly.
they're doing massive reshoots on this piece of shit. Like,
They always do reshoots on
Yeah,
not
it's just-
like this. They didn't have a script.
Come now,
Hey,
principal
they never
photography
do.
is wrapped.
Did you forget about Captain Black African American? I mean, come
Hmm.
on. I mean, it's basically the same fucking story there.
Some
I mean,
some people tried to tell me that Thunderdolts, Thunder Shits, whatever the freak that thing was called, was good. I'm like going.
I have had the Thunder
Thunder
Shits
Sharks.
before. They are just awful.
I'm just saying
Oh,
it was
man.
it was no bueno. You know what that feels like, Tox.
Oh no, it was Bueno, Taco Bueno. That stuff goes through you like crazy.
Those
Oh,
rabbit
God.
chicken tacos
it's
are
like
terrible.
Roto-Rooter
Oh,
for
man.
him.
I don't know what it was. Some kind of taste like chicken. I don't know.
That's when
we
you need
just
those
started and Penny
flushable
said
wipes.
goodnight.
Oh, I'm sorry, Penny.
See what you
John,
did.
so far,
See what you
tonight's
did.
bourbon is coffee. Trying to wake up.
Did I say a bad word?
Yes.
6
You
or
said
7.
Poop.
I feel
Yeah.
bad. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure you are.
I just
I
can't
am.
believe that Brahma had that Nazi mug up to his lips from Steven Crowder.
Damn straight.
Look, it's
Can't
almost like a
believe it.
salute. He lifts it like he's saluting.
Lifting his hand just wants to go straight, doesn't it? It does. It does.
It's like
Close.
Peter Sellers in Doctor Strangelove.
Yes.
I can walk.
But honestly,
Great
Ghost
movie.
of Yotai is a terrible game.
Oh, I didn't realize we're
Made by
segueing
terrible
closer.
people.
No.
I have 3 of those.
Wa-
mugs.
Wait, did I segue?
Yes.
Did
Well,
you
we're-
Sagi?
Yeah.
He segued.
By the way,
I've never
Actually-
been able to ride one of those Segway.
I actually
25 screens in Jason's bunker. No
and he
porn.
can't. And that he
No,
can't. write his-
Yeah, you don't see the screens behind him. That's
It's
what
on the
porn
big
is.
I mean,
screen
look-
TV in between all the screens.
Right.
Yeah, he can't.
Let's be honest. He
No,
can't
what's-
exactly show the porns.
Yeah,
what's
well,
what's
he's-
behind me is the days without internet. I got to update it, but yeah, it's
He
Is it been
he-
reset back to 0?
yeah.
no. We're actually doing pretty good. Although we do have an appointment with the wound clinic on November 5th because of the scratch on the leg that the dog ripped her leg open again.
Oh
so,
no.
Mm.
yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, well, you tell her we like her better than you.
Well, of course, I like her better
I
than
agree
me
with
too.
Jason.
Okay.
Culture
Our
did
dog-
take a sharp left turn off a cliff.
Our
As
puppy
happens
was
always.
bitten by another dog today. It was terrible.
Ew.
Poor thing.
I'm exhausted, guys. It's your fault.
Okay. How was it our fault? I went to bed at 11 so I could get up and finish recording a video. So,
You know what's
Did
really
you?
weird? Really?
yeah, I did.
What was your
Operation
producer
Morning
doing?
was working for you.
What was
The
my
producer should have been
doing?
up.
He was probably working at his day job.
He should have been up at the same
was.
time.
Y'all
was
have
up at
If
producers.
you're up, he's up.
I will be
By the
working
way-
this job until they probably walk me out the door on Wednesdays. So yeah,
What's a
Wednesday?
what's a producer?
Why Wednesday?
You have one. It's that
I do not.
That's that Detangled Shadows guy.
He's my IT guy.
Oh,
I don't have a producer. I have the producer,
okay.
and I don't produce much.
All right,
It's
let's
healthcare.
before we talk about Ghost of Yote, let's bring up some
Yotai.
super chat, specifically from
Holy
Roland T.
crap.
Wretched, who launched his very own YouTube channel, folks. Congratulations, dude. Thanks to Ian, Culture Talks, and Robbie for helping me launch my channel yesterday. I posted my first video. I saw it. I didn't see the whole thing, but I did see it. I need to finish watching it.
only
So
two
stop by
things
my
put me to
channel,
sleep.
which is under this name. Yes, it is. I am
Roland.
shamelessly promoting myself for once, and I appreciate the support. Yeah, go check out Roland's channel. Watch it. Watch his first video.
You know what? I really like that guy.
Yeah, I do too.
Who, Roland?
Yeah.
He's pretty gay.
TVG
I-
Monster also says for $2. Hi everyone, welcome, sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. And he also gifted a membership, which went
Thank
to
you very much.
Stephen.
Did Roland say the channel was under his own name?
Yes,
Yes.
is under his name.
It's
Roland the Wretched.
Looking it up.
Cock Gobbler
Oh, there it is.
6969.
That's
Links in the
definitely it's definitely a picture of Roland, although I don't know who's standing above him.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure Cobb Gobbler 6969 belongs to Toxic Man Flu. That is
Already.
alternate accounts.
No. No, it does
Subscribe,
not.
Roland.
No
I have
way.
subscribed.
All right, let's talk about
That
Ghost of
man's-
Yote.
Oh,
I didn't even realize the
oh my
damn
God, I
game was
just
out
got
yet.
that. Sorry.
Roland is a wonderful creator. He's got
No,
right
he's not.
now.
He sucks.
He's a terrible lover, but a wonderful creator.
He's
Yeah.
got 10 likes on his first video, and he
I have
would-
commented.
which is like he's kind of lying because he has more videos than that, but it's fine.
Yeah, he has the one.
Lefties are losing it.
Jason keeps dropping
What?
links in the chat. Okay.
I
Well,
put
yeah, I mean,
the,
something
the
we'll talk
bitmap
about.
Bitmap book
publishing
stuff.
thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then a link to Roland's things channel. So
Doesn't
Ryan
Roland
didn't
have
have
like 3,500 total views so far?
already, that's more than I've gotten. Like 6.
This
1,000 years.
This
I mean,
one,
last I checked, he had like 25 views or something like that.
No, he's got
31, he's doing well.
3.53. He's got 3,530 views.
yeah.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
doing
good.
good.
Good for him. There we go.
Talent will always tell out in the end.
Indeed.
Toxic Man Flu even said good stuff.
I thought I was commenting on a different video.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh man. You're
Oh, no,
awful.
I did. Good stuff.
he said
He
good
didn't, he didn't
stuff.
reply to me or anything.
No, that's the thing. Like these creators are so
He
lazy.
replied
They
to
don't.
people.
I know. Did you see that?
Apparently, there is ball waxing on Roland's channel, but it's not him.
No,
He's waxing other people.
there's
Mate,
stunt testicles.
Waxing poetic.
Nice one. Nice one.
Yeah.
I heard Jentis. Wax your balls and guarantee views, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of
It
how I
works.
feel.
Hate watching. Hate watching.
It works.
Yeah,
I
pretty
can't
much.
wait to see the new T-shirt this year.
wait, how do you know it works?
Here you go. Comics, remember this? It's a movie that you and I know and love. Stunt cock.
Yes.
Oh,
This Flu's going to hear that, and the other one wonder what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
He's stunt cocking is what he's doing.
Bring in the stunt cock.
stunt cock.
Indeed. All right.
All right, we gotta
I'm gonna
do
get this from
Orgasmo
Pinochet
for one of
real
Orgasmo's great.
fast.
Hey,
For
Pinochet.
$5 over on the Rumble side says evening gents, healing up still.
Good.
That's good. Hope you're
Mhm,
healing up nicely. Getting around to all those little projects I want to finish. Modify drone flight controller to fire rockets and make homemade
I'm very excited about that. Let me know
All
how
those
your
bunker busting bombs.
JDAMs
JDAMs. He's going to use
For
JDAMs on them.
upcoming Civil War.
That's right. My drones have a first name. It's JDAM.
I'm pretty sure the Civil War has already started.
Last name Tannerite.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that there are certain places now in the city of Chicago that if you have ice in your glass, you'll get arrested.
Yes.
Mhm.
Seriously?
No, but it's a joke.
Just don't have it on the side of your tour
Ice
bus.
freezes.
Yeah, yeah, don't have it on the side of your tour bus or
Okay, so
Yeah.
like, what's the thing they melt railroad tracks together with?
They melt
They
them together
don't.
with
That they melt them
They s-
together.
They bolt them together.
a
They
furnace.
don't melt them.
No, they do melt them together, and there's a chemical process that you apparently you can use, like, what do you call them, etch-a-sketches to produce, because
That's that
That-
high-speed train stuff they do in other places. We don't do crap like that here.
thermite.
Shell
Yeah,
saying
thermite. Thank you.
Thermite. Come on, another 50 years talks, and there'll be at least a couple of miles in
So
California.
you ever feel like you want to
To
go
go
buy a
where?
bunch of etch-a-sketches?
I loved it. Etch a Sketch. That was great.
Because
Why
like
do
apparently,
etch-a-sketches have thermite in them?
yeah, it's one of the ways you extract one of the chemicals for thermite.
I wish I'd known that as a
One
boy.
of.
I could have really used that then.
Yeah, so there was this thing called the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yes, I know. I'm very
Um,
familiar with it.
okay.
Very familiar with it.
Well, all you got to do is watch that episode of Star Trek.
Or Breaking Bad, but
The one with
that's-
the Etch-a-Sketch?
That's not the point. No, to make thermite.
The
MacGyver must
the
have used
bamboo
it.
cannon.
Yeah, the bamboo cannon.
Yeah, and it's
Uh,
thermite,
that's-
not termite, just in
Yes.
case anyone's
All
wondering.
right,
said-
all right,
who said
culture.
termite?
You brought up Ghost of Yote, so we need
Ghost
to
of Yotai.
Yeah, gotta talk about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you're the one who's been paying attention.
Not
so
really. I just know that the
It sucks
sales are
balls.
not what they're saying. Yeah. Ghost of Yotai is trying to pretend like they've sold 3 million copies in record time, but it's actually 40% behind a Ghost
Another
of
time.
Tsushima.
I love it. Thermite is iron, rust, and aluminum.
Aluminium.
Aluminium. That's correct, culture.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes. I was trying to help out.
That's fucking hilarious.
But no, honestly, the launch sales are down about 40% compared to Ghost of Yoshima. So Ghost of Yotai, the what do you call it? It's not just gay. It's like, what do you call it? Super gay. No, that's not even it. It's just woke AF. And
It's the QT and the LGBTQT. Really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. As time went on, I continued to lose interest in this game. Sadly, because I loved the original Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of
Original
Tsushima,
game was
It was a
superb.
fucking amazing game.
What a downfall this is.
Yeah, and yeah,
But even people who are in the games media, say some of those are even saying, well, leaving aside all that stuff, it's actually pretty boring and repetitive, and it's just recycled a whole load of assets from the first game, and it isn't really bringing anything new to the table. And another big factor was that you can't choose your weapons, as it forces you to use certain weapons in certain fights against certain enemies, so that's not very good. So leaving aside all the other stuff, like the woman that's the mouthpiece for it, which would put me off instantly. I said that game is out, it's gone. I'll be non-binary for that one. Leaving it aside, there are some problems with the actual game itself. Yes, it's got some pretty scenes, but so what? It's boring.
like what kind of problems as in the fact that it's just a boring game?
Just boring, tons of repetitive stuff that doesn't add anything or bring anything to your character. I mean, all the little things that seemed fairly cute in Ghost of Tsushima, like cutting the bamboo or sitting by the hot springs or whatever. They've basically taken that and expanded some of that, and it's just like, well, what's the point of this? It's like,
well, I saw like
one
a scene
reviewer-
where they're like roasting fish over a fire.
It's
and it's
filler.
like,
Yes.
it's
The
like, what's
reviewer that
point?
was like, this game is a masterpiece, and all it is a thing of him roasting a fish over a fire.
Mm.
But using the DualSense controller to slowly move it back and forth,
It's
sounds
thrilling
fun
stuff.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's a point in time where if you make your game too realistic, it becomes boring as fuck. And that's a real good
Yeah.
example. I mean, sure, the first couple times roasting a fish might be kind of interesting, but eventually it's going to get to the point where it's like you said, it's repetitive garbage and you just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It almost seems like the lawnmower game is more interesting than this, just from what
The
I'm hearing.
lawnmower game.
Yeah, there's a lawnmower game. You get on the lawnmower and you mow
Lawnmower
lawns.
simulator.
Lawnmower
Lawnmower
Simulator.
Simulator. Yeah, Jay
Yeah,
over at
Jay,
Drunk
Drunk
3 played it. Yeah, and here's the weirdest thing, and I'm just gonna put this out there. When a studio is not telling you about their sales of their new game, which
they're down.
they're done. They're down. They're dead.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch Sucker Punch usually screams from the rooftops whenever they're having a good game.
Yeah.
They ain't saying jack.
Well, they had an amazing sales with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it blew
And on a low budget.
a lot of games out of the water. Yes, and it
On a
had
low
a low budget. Yeah.
And I don't think there's a huge budget on this game. I don't think they've massively increased that budget.
If they're smart, they should not have.
But it's I don't.
Well,
I think it'll sell half of Tsushima if it's lucky.
Let's analyze what
It'll still make
PSN
money.
Profiles. But let's analyze what PSN Profiles says, which is that Ghost of Yotai has 18,895 game owners. That's for PlayStation Network.
But you have to identify yourself on that, don't you? You have to say you have to have one of those profiles.
Well, you
Not
just have to have a
everybody-
PSN profile, yeah. But that's
I
not
thought
very
that
many.
Was a trans joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you have to consider this as opposed to Ghosts of Tsushima, which had 571,000 owners. And that's out of the 13 million copies sold as of September 2024.
Well, and the thing is that the sales for Tsushima before it even hit PC was pretty meteoric, and then it just made even more money when they released it for PC. Was it last year when they did that, or was it 2 years ago at this point?
2 years ago.
Okay.
But I'm freely going to admit that I haven't played the game, Ghost of Yotai, that is.
Ghost of Yotai.
I have no fucking desire.
And
to
I
play
would
it.
never play it because of the voice actress. Sorry, I can't disassociate myself, the art from the artist.
Yeah.
She's just a whatever. But I believe that the story is, unlike Ghost of Tsushima, where you saw Jin Saki gradually getting better at things, struggling, working it hard at getting better, become a better swordsman, better whatever, better infiltrator. She just goes from 0 to hero instantly. Overnight. And then it's the usual girl boss, whatever.
Well-
And it's a revenge. It's a revenge tale. He was fighting for more than that. And he was doing it at great personal cost. It's for her, it's more, well, I'm just going to kill everyone I don't like.
Yeah, well,
And I'll be miserable
ultimately,
about it too.
I was not aware Jin Saki had that many skills. I thought she just circled back.
She did. Yeah.
But
with this game, we're circling back to feudal Japan. So, but
Jin
yeah, I mean,
Saki,
there's a
or
lot of
whatever.
things that made the game interesting. Is the fact that you had this, respected samurai, and he, in order to basically save his family and save his country, he does some unsavory things, and it ends up costing him everything in the
And
end.
he knew it would cost him.
And he
That was the
knew,
thing.
and
He knew
that's
it.
that's what made the character so compelling. Is the fact that he's not being an honorable samurai; he's becoming more of a shinobi, and it literally cost him everything.
Yeah, and it had a very deeply emotional ending as a result.
Yes.
With him and his father. So
Oh, it was his uncle.
it was his uncle. Sorry, there's nothing like that in this game. I don't believe. From everything I've seen and read, it's more of a she goes on a rampage and that's it. So I don't know. I mean, as I say, I'll never play it because of there's a lot of other problems with it, and a lot of problems with Sucker Punch, but because of that actress, that was it. I
Well, on
wasn't
top of
gonna
it,
open my
you've had the
wallet.
controversy with one of their devs, making
Yeah.
comments about, Charlie
I didn't
Kirk,
open
which,
my wallet for that.
yeah, and all this stuff is going to compound and ultimately hurt this game. And it honestly started with the casting.
Yeah, but they have to do this to take a great first game. It's like The Last of Us, and just utterly destroy it by making a steaming pile of propaganda crap as a second game.
I imagine with the widespreadness of those types of comments about Charlie Kirk that almost every game is going to have a developer that will have had that problem.
Oh,
Probably.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway,
Well,
it
and
will
the way
be interesting
you
to
get
see.
around it is, well, there's two ways companies can do this. It's called having a social media policy, and telling your people basically don't say anything inflammatory that will ruin the game. And then if somebody does, the company goes and addresses the situation. Sucker Punch really didn't address the whole situation with one of their lead devs shooting their mouth off. And the whole thing is, I'm completely fine with people going and saying their thing, but a lot of the problems is the fact that in their bio they have the company they work for in there, right? And when you do that, you are representing the company. It's the reason why I don't do that, because
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
representing the company, and it's the reason why I don't use my real name, because I'm not representing, the company.
And
I want
putting
to
the
be able
name
to
of the
get back-
company and then putting my views are completely separate from those of my company does
Yeah.
not absolve you.
No, it does not. So it's like I'm perfectly fine. If you are a hateful, awful person, you're more than welcome to go and espouse your shitty views on the internet. The problem is when you start attaching your company and you are at that point are representing the company. When you say those things, it's going to cause your company problems. And I who knows? You really probably can't quantify how much money Sucker Punch lost as a result of this dev saying something stupid.
Probably not as much money as the fact they created a sucky game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in all seriousness, if it were a great game, it'd be a very small group of people, very small, who would not play the game because some jackass said something stupid.
Possibly.
Because if we didn't do things because some jackass somewhere said something stupid, you wouldn't live.
Yeah.
There are
That was kind of my
jackasses
point
everywhere.
about
saying
the Charlie
stupid
Kirk
stuff all the time.
thing. People saying that was so widespread. It's probably in everything that we buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
Somebody's
can't get
done
away
that.
from that. It's kind of like, I would like to go and buy a new Ford truck, but they're made in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to go get a Chevy truck. Oh, they're made in Canada. Okay, so I'm going to go get a new Dodge truck. Well, nobody knows where they're made, and they suck balls. But that's different.
Well, you
Right.
can always buy a Toyota because they're made in San Antonio.
That's right. I was like, oh, I can get a Honda. It's made in Iowa or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's kind of hard to live these absolutes anymore.
Oh no,
Mhm.
Well, I think
you
it was-
are
well, it's
100%
always been
right,
hard.
Talks. You are 100% right.
But having your principles and sticking to them is great. But it's just like that mayor in Portland.
Hmm.
She was just fine with all this stuff until they were about 10 steps from her house.
Yep.
And then that shit ended. Right? And
Pelosi was fine with crap on the streets until it was on her driveway.
Yep.
Well, and the reality is you're right, because when you have a company, it's a large company, you're going to get a diverse amount of opinions. Some of them you're not going to like. That's fine, right? It's
Mhm.
completely fine. The issue is when somebody goes out there and says something dumb and they're representing your company. That's ultimately the problem.
Right. And you shouldn't be putting all that stuff in your bio, the LinkedIn stuff and all those things. But these companies wanted to create this culture of belonging, and you live here in family. You hear this, oh, we're a
safe
family.
space.
Right.
Well,
We're
that's
family. We're all that kind of stuff, right? And when you do that, I am 100% a believer in work is work and home life is home life.
Right.
They should not mix.
I completely agree. I worked in a place and they're like, we want you to bring your authentic self to work. It's like, no, you don't. If I bring my authentic self to work, I'll get fired.
Right.
Well, this is there is a point here around okay, if you're saying something on a social media channel that's on behalf of your company, you say something terrible, well, you're going to get fired.
That's different.
And then people, to a certain extent, agree with them in some respects, that you say, well, if it's in your private social media and you're not representing the company and you say something horrible, like wishing someone was murdered, that shouldn't be treated the same way. But there is an aspect to that you got to think about, which is people have to work with that person.
Mhm.
So people have to go to work with that person, knowing that person just said, well, I hate all people like that and I want them all to die. So
Mhm.
that is a
Yeah,
problem.
you've just revealed yourself as a horrible person.
Yeah,
So,
so-
why would a
so-
company want you working there
So
anyway?
why would you want to go to work every day standing beside that person at the water cooler, knowing that they hate your guts and would kill you if they could?
Yeah.
So that's
So-
where it crosses a line as well.
Right. And
Well, I
that's
think- The other thing too is
Well, hang on. Sorry.
I have
Talks-
a problem
talks
with that.
than you.
Yeah, I have a problem with that in that I felt that way before.
Mm.
Okay. And now we're getting into the thought police world that is very scary to me. I don't care what the other person at work thinks of me or others. I care about their performance at work, all right, and how they get along with people at work in the work setting.
Mm.
Once they walk out of that work setting, if they go out and get in the MAGA truck or they get in a coexist car, or because most coexist people don't drive trucks, then fine. It ends there to me. Right? Work is work.
Okay.
Your personal life is personal life. And when you start worrying about the fact that somebody hates you at work is where the problems start.
Okay. I love that idea. I really do. And Toxic would be great. Except for one thing.
Mhm.
When somebody goes out on social media and says they hate MAGA people and they work in the medical industry and they're a surgeon, I don't want that person working on me.
Well, I don't want a Christian who says that I'm going to go to hell because I don't go to their church operating on me.
There you go. And
Now,
that's that. And
Put
that's
that in
where
your pipe and fucking smoke it.
we
It's the
just said
same damn thing.
Yes.
Well,
we
and
just
I think one of the things too is whether somebody sits there on their social media thing, like especially with Twitter or LinkedIn, you know, these are all personal opinions and not reflective of my company. Even if you identify what company you work for, if it's a public facing company, especially, and there's customers, there's still going to be an impact. Whether you get along, in the workplace or not, whether it has an impact with how you get along with your coworkers, that's one thing. How you get along with the public and the impact that whatever you say on social media, the impact that has on your customer interaction with that company, that has to be a factor as well. Whether you have, and Comics is right, you got to have, all these companies have to have a social media policy of some sort.
Right.
And
Agreed. Right.
it has to be rigidly enforced with
My biggest
with
issue is
no
when it
quibbles.
when it comes down to people they say things on their personal thing, have it no way kind of connected to their company. Nobody knows who they're working for, but then people go out and dox them
Yeah, they go and track
as
them down.
where they work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a problem.
That is
Yes.
the problem.
Because that is basically how it was weaponized against us for years.
Right.
Exactly.
I do want to get to legalized adulthood because he was being very generous tonight for
Oh!
$100. What's up, buddy? It's been a while. It says comics is so tall that James Bond needs to scale a tall, icy mountain just to say hello. Just who the hell are you? Bond Dicker? Clarence Bond Dicker?
Boddicker.
Oh,
Boddicker.
Boddicker?
Yeah, he's the bad guy from RoboCop.
But I think you actually made
Oh,
it funnier.
Dicker better.
Yeah, I think Bond Dicker was better.
Bond
Dicker. Bond Dicker.
I didn't say Bond Dicker, I said Bod Dicker.
Oh.
No,
sorry.
Sorry.
Regardless, it would make a great parody.
Yeah.
Does
Talks, there's your
Legalized
next
Adulthood
video.
want us to play the Bitches Leave?
Yeah,
play
you have to play that.
You
What do you
got it
mean? Do you
at this
want
point.
to?
Yeah.
How you doing? Bitches leave.
Gee, Poppy. Bye.
I know we kind of jumped the line.
I tell you what.
It was $100.
Yeah, it was $100
and also
bucks.
legalized adulthood
there's
just
another
dropped 20 memberships.
Woo!
He's going to the front of the glory hole line.
That's right. Yeah, that's immediate service, right, Tox?
From comics, yeah.
No, that's
Bang
what I
bang.
Now from Tox.
No.
Tox is the one
Do
who
not do
offers up his glory hole to everyone. He
That's
invites
true.
everybody to his glory
I'm
hole.
I'm actually in that chat group.
Indeed.
We know.
Yes.
All right. So just to get things caught up, because I don't want to leave anybody out. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Thermite is not made by mixing iron oxide and aluminum powder. Sorry. I'm not going to read the ratio with small magnesium strips. Well, yeah. I mean, why would you do
Just
such a
think
thing?
quarter black in reverse.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
don't want to actually do that. It makes holes in things.
Yeah. Also, Sabertooth Raptor for $5 sent an email around the spud of purple, a parameter from what?
Yeah.
A parameter form.
Sorry, parameter form.
Culture
C
Yoda.
Yoda quota, quote. Movie idea, Indiana Culture Casino, and the
There you
purple
go.
spud of destiny.
Dude,
Well, the problem-
SFX is on fire lately. I love
Well, the problem is that spud is not actually a spud; it's a butt plug. But whatever.
No, actually,
hey,
no,
Pinochet's
no,
helicopter tours for $2 says, "Hey, CC, maybe you know, was there not a sweet baby takeover of Sucker Punch that led to the ouster of the staff that won the praise of Japan itself?
See,
with the first
senor.
Some of them-
Tsushima game.
Some were
Yeah.
forced out. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Really?
you ended up with the super feminazi class.
You see, the other thing was that Sucker Punch, which was a Western developer making a Japanese game, was roundly accused of cultural appropriation
Yes,
at
they
the
were.
time. So they became very sensitive to that and decided to
Despite-
make some changes.
Even though Japan fucking loved the game.
Exactly.
Even though Japan loved the game. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's weird because, like, if the culture is telling you you're great and you have these stupid Western fucks telling you it's not, you already know what's going on. So there
You know, that happened with a D&D game too. A module that was very, very popular in Japan. We've talked about it here. That
big in Japan.
yeah,
in Japan.
that was very problematic everywhere else here in the West.
Oh, you're referring to Oriental Adventures?
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Anyway, we can
Cowabunga.
return back to the bickering about social media. Okay.
Apparently, we can't.
We can? We
Yeah,
can't?
We can.
No, we can't.
Okay.
We can't.
No.
Hmm?
No,
The problem
discuss-
is,
we all
I
gave
think
it
somebody
something.
said it in chat. The problem is when the people at FEMA didn't help the people in, was it North Carolina, South Carolina?
White people,
North Carolina.
white people.
North Carolina didn't help
Mhm.
them because they voted a certain way. That's the problem.
After the hurricane. Well,
Agreed.
because they had Trump signs.
Yeah,
They had
after the
Trump signs, so
hurricane.
they
Yeah.
skip those people. When you do that, now you are the people that brought the Democratic Socialists
yeah. I mean, you're the
into
brown
power
shirt.
in Germany and
you're a brown
the
shirt.
fascists in Italy, and that's the thing. And this has been a rot that's been going on for multiple decades.
Yeah.
And Soros did a really good job getting certain people in state levels. What did he do? He went to the state level and local because he knew that's where all the
That's where
action
it all.
happened,
That's where it happens.
right? So he went and he did that, and now you've got all this rot everywhere
Yeah.
from these things. And Johnson has no standing. It's actually against the Constitution to do what he did. It's against the Constitution to do what Gavin did. And this is what Lincoln did. Now, I was against what Lincoln did at the time because the southern states used the Constitution and succeeded legally, as they should have. But this is straight up insurrection. So they're forcing him to do this, what he's probably going to have to eventually do. Because if
Clear
you
the
have
Insurrection Act.
an ICE vehicle surrounded by 10 vehicles of Antifa, that is the definition of
Insurrection.
coordinated terrorism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Especially when your police chief of patrol says, stand down, we're not going anywhere near that.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
and
that's-
look,
You're right,
Chicago,
that's whatever.
Chicago created what's that thing called? The Bullshit Act. What is
Yeah,
it? that-
whatever. I don't know what to call them.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm looking at these cities that are blue that are anti-American at this point, and I'm going, if this is an insurrection, actual insurrection, I don't know what is. So I've got to point out the places that are, anti-American, because we live under the idea of liberty. You cannot have liberty if you allow for a force of humans to attack you because you have a different belief system. And this is going to be a problem because going forward, we've got a bunch of imported people here that are trying to take over our country, and that's a problem.
Well, not only that, the attack sanctioned and passed over by the local government.
Okay, so somebody highlighted "Shut Up Casino,"
and
Just
damn
Pauly.
weirdo.
Hey, Paul.
It's the man frenching the elephant. No big deal.
I cannot unsee that.
I know. Okay, so here's
Wait,
some of the stuff.
Pauly Frenched an elephant.
His logo,
his logo,
his avatar.
Oh, he's Frenching it. Well, that makes sense.
It looks like a man Frenching an elephant.
The first time you came on, I said that.
Yeah.
It's not-
Okay, so here's part of the issue with some of the stuff is that if you work with somebody, and obviously this doesn't always have to apply to politics, because it could be over a difference of opinion or my code's better than yours, whatever. If you work with somebody who's so diametrically opposed to you and basically wants you dead for having a certain belief, the issue is that individual might take active actions to sabotage your career. That's the thing that I think should be concerning. I'm not saying, yeah, we should fire people that we disagree with. I think that's dumb. But the issue that you're talking about, talks with this cultural rot that has gotten so bad, is that it's not about, hey, I don't like you, I don't like your opinions, but we're coworkers and we have to work together. The issue now is that it's gone past that.
The issue now is they've gone into assassination culture from cancel culture.
Right.
Brum and I disagree on many things, but we agree on the things that really matter. What we're talking about that we disagree on is lifestyle.
Right.
Okay. And that kind of stuff from there. I do not disagree that I don't think he shouldn't have his opinions. I don't think that he has a right to them, to have them, and to live the life the way that he wants.
Right.
Right. And I'm not going to sit there and try and, hurt him. Number one, I'd probably break something trying to, but I have no animosity towards him. I want him to have the best. I want his kids to have the best. I want his family. I want him to have the best. We may disagree. So
I want his hockey team to suffer miserably, though.
The best way,
and I suck a fucking egg. That's totally different.
The main core, the reason why we can all, for the most part, get along is that we all have very similar core values, right? Even though there's other things that we will disagree on, fundamentally, as a society, we agree on certain things. And that's how the left and the right used to be. The problem now is that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, it's strange because all the radical ideas are coming from one side, which is why we don't have any cultural touchstones. We don't have it from the undermining of even those very cultural touchstones, whether it be in film or television or music or anything else, because it's always a bunch of crazy people like Jason.
Right.
I lost my internet.
Insane.
Sorry.
You should see him we got him in our group text now. Oh my God.
It's very funny. He had a huge knife today.
Jason's just like, what the fuck's going on here?
No, he was talking about his huge knife.
That's usually my day anymore when I'm asking that question.
But this is the fundamental problem that we all kind of like it. The whole Charlie Kirk assassination solidified the fact that we know that we live in a world where we're sitting in the same theater and there's two different movies playing. Yeah. Now it's gotten to the point where it's like, it's really the case. It's like we no longer, as a country, as a nation, share the same values. Be it, I don't know if this is a commie thing, the social contract. I always hear that coming from people on the left saying social contract. The agreed upon values that we have as a society is the thing I kind of view the social contract as, right? That doesn't exist anymore. That's the thing that's so fucked up about it. And so when you have somebody who is so hostile to your ideals now, how do you deal with that in the workplace?
It goes back to what Adam said. the Constitution was made for a moral and religious people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a foundation that they said the Constitution really only works if we all kind of have these guidelines already instilled in us. And that's what we're not doing at this point.
And
Well, I think if
at
you
the
go
public
back,
school level, right? When you lose
What's
that at the public school level, and when you lose that, and you have them teach this rot, which is what's been happening, and it's new learning and all this stuff, and getting away from why are you in school? To learn skills, all right, to live and to advance, and to separate out the really intelligent people that need to become rocket scientists from those of us that need to become really good mechanics.
Right.
And also to learn how to learn.
Exactly. Critical thinking and that
Critical
kind of stuff.
thinking.
And they've stopped doing that because this is racist or whatever things from there. That comes from Soros and from a lot of the Chinese. The Chinese have done a very good job of defeating us and Western culture with money, defeating us with our own greed and things from there. And
and defeating us not just with our own greed, but our own freedoms. That's like one of the biggest issues that we're running into.
And that's what, when you read Thomas Paine and he talks about this stuff, you have to be diligent. The government is like a demon you're calling up from hell in a pentagram on the floor. The second that toe base comes out of where you need to be, you need to kill it and send it back to hell. And that's why those provisions were in the Constitution. But we get very set in our ways, the comfort that comes from that. And that's why there's not going to be a hot civil war, because nobody really has the balls to do that. There's a few, but those are already doing the homestead thing out there and dealing with how rough that actually was. Jaffo sent me a real good video on just how violent American Indians were before the white man showed up. Okay, it's great because I knew this, right?
Which video was it?
I'll send it to you. He sent it to me.
Is that the
They were noble and nonviolent.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
Total bullshit.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to get this from Eternal Vigilance. He says that John Adams said, our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. Yeah, that's the one he just quoted. It is wholly adequate to the government of any other. Morality and virtue are the foundations of our republic.
That's true.
And necessary for society to be free.
Right. Which is why the First Amendment is breaking down and we don't feel like we can say things, because there's sides that are not playing fair. I mean, it's what Tim Pool's been talking about, like with the incitement stuff even.
Look, pimping ain't easy, but it's necessary.
Indeed.
Speaking of which, I got to get out of here, guys. I'm sorry to cut it short, but
it's only been like 46 minutes.
Culture's battery is running down.
Look, not only is my battery running down.
Okay, get the boss in here. Get the wind-up key. Crank it. That way you get more energy.
Some coffee, Culture?
I do. I need more coffee. Actually, I need espresso. So,
oh yeah, you're right. Let's get him out of here.
Get him out.
If you get me out, then Tox can pretend that he's super tough guy, and it'll be all fine. So,
I'm a wuss.
No, you're great. You are a great man and an
Nick
inspiration
jumped
to
into
me.
my arms and I nearly died.
That's not true. You actually held me up more effortlessly than comics did.
If I'd had an erection,
you are correct, Polly. He's running away because you're here.
I don't really care that. I don't really care that he's here. He's associated with commies all the time, so I don't really care. It's fine. Look, Lindsay says need some CBD. I do. Fortunately, my smells very lavender and chamomile. Chamomile, is that a word? Anyway, I had a great time over on Floral from Under a Rock earlier.
What the fuck, are you freebasing the CBD?
Don't tell people.
Okay.
But it was a lot of fun over there with the puppets. You guys need to check them out at the new time right before this show. And you get an hour of entertainment with some wholesome fun. And Mrs. Flu, who is there tonight. She was great. I will say these are the people. These are my friends. And regardless of how much guff we give each other, I'm grateful to be here with them on Mondays and Thursdays, even if it's only for an hour. because they like to talk about a lot of things, and I don't really care anymore. So you can find me tomorrow on my show, the political show, the first and only political show that I will do that'll eventually go 5 days a week. Is thanks for your attention to this matter, the podcast. And you're going to want to be there tomorrow, right after T3PO, which is right after the Pro Show, which is right after the Morning Magic, which is on That Park Place Live, which is right after the 6 Minute Daily tomorrow morning, where I'm also live, and you don't want to miss it.
So
on
now
that,
we're literally promoting the
probably
whole
on-
internet.
I'm
Probably
promo-
on the same time my show's on. So thanks.
I don't think he was added to the scene. So
I'm back. I don't know if anybody
He had
heard
no
that.
idea that I just made fun of him.
yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna go. I used to love everybody here, but
I
I'm
should
questioning
go.
that.
These are your friends.
He had to go fold his socks. And maybe
I was
them.
going to go with he needed a cattle prod up his ass to wake himself up.
That was far more funnier than what I came up with.
Well, yeah,
So-
dirtier.
Hasn't
I
been
s-
desensitized to that.
Probably.
That's a good one. That's a shocking admission.
Shocking indeed, Togs. Shocking indeed.
So a while back, I ran across an essay, and I can't remember where I should have bookmarked
That's a
it.
very.
I need to be better about bookmarking things. But this essay, we're talking about what
Are you talking about a Mexican person there, essay?
No.
All right, okay. I was going to say that's a
But
bit problematic.
Talks had talked about the Chinese infiltrating. There was an essay I read across, and I can't find it. It talks about the Soviet Union when they were in existence had infiltrators. Did you see that?
It was on Red State. It was an article on Red State today.
Well, this was something, and I can't remember if it was John Ringo or John Wright that posted over on Twitter, but basically talking about that you had this group of Soviet sympathizers infiltrating pretty much everywhere here in the United States, and they're engaged in anti-American propaganda. And then the Soviet Union fell apart, and all of that machine is still in place. And so this anti-American propaganda now continues to operate. And the result has been not to create communist sympathizers for the Soviets anymore, but to basically just destroy the culture as it stands in order to come up with something that replaces it later. And I wish I could find the essay. It was a good read, and I didn't save it. And
yeah, the Red State article was a little bit different. It was about China being on the verge of maybe doing or taking military action against us preemptively. But they were talking about how the Russians did have caches that they had in case there was something that they needed to do. And a lot of those caches, I think there was 100 like small nukes that are still missing.
Yep.
Like caches like in the United
Suitcase nukes.
States that
Weapons
they have,
cache
or-
in different places in Europe and possibly in the United States.
Interesting.
Or different places in Europe. And the reason they were talking about that is because so many Chinese militant age men came through the border over the last 4 years.
Yep.
And while they were coming over the border, at least 1,000 of them were trained to get their CDLs. So you've got at least 1,000 Chinese militant age men that now have CDLs transporting stuff throughout the country.
Huh.
well, that's
So maybe there are caches now.
That's
Who knows? Because we
Well,
weren't watching.
that honestly makes the most sense because the only way I think an external force could take out the United States is from within.
Right.
Yeah.
And mainly it's because of landmass, right? I mean, it's different between Europe and the United States because basically, for the most part, almost the entire continent is the United States, North America. Granted, we have Canada up north, but again, it's a country that we I would say for the most part share the same values for the most part.
That may have been the case a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's quickly changing, I guess. But
And the next war, if China does attack Canada, will probably be on the Chinese side, and they'll
they absolutely will.
They'll fly drones of digital IDs over to drop on you.
Yeah, but at this point, it makes sense because I mean, we saw the movie from the 80s, and
because the free Alberta that I will live in will be different.
Yeah, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn.
Yeah. I almost said a completely different movie, Invasion USA. I was like, that's not the movie I'm thinking of.
The best
totally
Christmas movie ever made, Invasion USA.
God, it's such a good movie. But yeah, Red Dawn. I mean, where they basically came up through Mexico, and yeah, I mean, at this point, if they were to do it, all they had to do is ship in a bunch of military-age men, put caches in the United States, get them CDLs so they can transport stuff around and
wait.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you never can tell, and
you may want to check out that Red State article from today. Then
you already
later.
Okay. That's really fucking frightening if you think about it, and it's probably going to happen. And all they have to do is wait for the right moment where there's enough fucking chaos in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And bam.
Or if there's a
of
big
which we're
event.
creating plenty of that within the country ourselves. So
yeah, well, potential foreign agitators. But I want to shift topics, something less depressing. Jason, you kind of brought this to our attention here. Where what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. Okay, so this is the Chaser. So what happens? Bitmap Publishing. They've got the Bitmap Books. They've got this big history of the SNES or something. It's a big coffee table book by a guy named Moses Norton. And nobody really knew that this thing was coming out until they published this statement that they were going to cancel him over stuff that he had posted back in 2022, these problematic things. And, we're so sorry. We should have done a better job of vetting our authors and blah, blah, blah. And basically trashed this guy and said that we're going to take all of his royalties from the sales of the book and we're going to donate it to a charity of our choice. And he's agreed to this. And I'm sure that there was a struggle session in there involved somewhere. And there was this big hue and cry, and Madam Savvy pulled up, did some digging, and actually found the original tweets. And it turns out that this was some kid on Blue Sky who was complaining about Moses Norton because they had some kind of a disagreement on this stuff. And Norton's posts were not any kind of, cancelable, actionable thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he apologized for the thing, but the blowback was so great over the last few days that Bitmap has come back out here on this statement here, basically saying, okay, well, we've all made nice and we're going to give Moses his money because they got caught out and they got called out, and and people are like, don't do business with Bitmap, don't buy this thing because Moses isn't going to get his share of it. And, put them in their place rather expeditiously. And it's a really good thing to see. The fact that so many people came up in this thing and said, this is not right. You should not do this. And
yeah, I mean, taking someone's royalties, is that legal? I mean, can they legally do that?
It depends on how the contract is written, because Richard Hogan and I went back and forth on it on Twitter for a little bit. Depending on how the contract is written, if there's any kind of like a moralities clause or, whatever, depending on that, there could be a way that you could do it. And since they posted that Moses Norton had agreed to that arrangement, then maybe it's legal. But, maybe he agreed to it under duress. So who knows? But this whole thing's playing out like it's not entirely scripted, but I'm feeling a little suspicious of it. But Bitmap did the wrong thing to start with, and then they threw gas on it. And then when everybody blew up on this thing for the last couple of days, they really didn't have very much choice but to walk it back.
Wow.
So score one for us, I guess.
Yeah, that's
on our
good.
side.
That's fucking crazy.
But the fact that this cancel cult still exists like this, oh, you had some problematic tweets from 2022, something about third world countries, and have you got a PS2 yet in your city or whatever? I mean, just innocuous stuff, and that was enough for them to complain over on Blue Sky, land of the
Basically
free,
what
home
Blue
of the
Sky
brave.
exists for.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say it's coming from Blue Sky. Why would someone want to pay attention to that? But whatever.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, it's the same kind of thing that what Bari Weiss was complaining about with the New York Times when she quit.
Right.
And called them out. You know, you guys are so worried about these 12 angry toddlers on Twitter. And now here it is. Now the toddlers are on Blue Sky. And yeah, but pockets of this kind of activity still exist. I mean, Mindy and I got talking about it the other day. Geek Girl Con up in Seattle, they still require vaccination proof. I mean, it's just like, really? What year are we in? We're doing this again?
Well, I mean, there's still people that are walking around wearing masks thinking they're still in the middle of a pandemic. So
yeah. And I think we're going to get that for the next 15, 20 years, probably.
Hey, I mean, whatever floats your boat. If you want to wear a mask, I think it's dumb. You're more than, it's your prerogative. But I think you don't necessarily live in this reality. That's kind of like, I think the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people don't fucking live in reality anymore.
Yeah.
They live in some sort of constructed fantasy.
Well, it's like I was talking about when I did that video on the Charlie Kirk thing. There are so many people that are fully invested in the manufactured reality of social media,
right?
And that becomes the reality, and the real world becomes the construct,
right?
And the whole thing has flipped. The social media becomes the main thing that they're inside that box, and they don't know how to deal with everything out here in the real world.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that the mainstream media kind of reinforces most of the ideas on social media that are out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's an issue. Well, and we used to say, Twitter's not real life, but the problem is it's becoming real life.
It's the town square.
Especially for younger people.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Let's go for the main topic here, which I totally blanked on. So let me go back over to the
James Bond.
Yeah.
Was it
Let me
Bond?
go back over to the YouTubes, look at it. Yeah, Amazon culturally vandalizing James Bond by going and removing all the guns from. I'm not gonna say there were the movie posters, but they were, I guess, clips from the movies.
No, it's some sort of publicity artwork.
Yeah.
For the series of films.
Which, okay, so Amazon basically got the rights to Bond. They're making the next Bond film, and so they have these publicity posters that they've done, essentially removing the guns from James Bond. Why? I mean, this doesn't exactly bode well for the next installment of Bond. I mean, the last one sucked. Let's be honest. I mean, the only thing I thought was good out of that, well, technically, out of all the movies he did, I thought Casino Royale was probably the best, and Skyfall was the second runner-up. Everything else I didn't particularly care for. I wasn't too crazy about, I'm not going to say him being Bond. I mean, what made me want him to be Bond was Layer Cake, because he was fantastic in Layer Cake. But he fucking just, and granted, it's
Bond spent
not
way
all
too much
his
time
fault.
crying.
Yes, yeah, and that's not his fault. That's the fault of the writers.
Yeah.
But he sure as fuck didn't help.
Well, and I had heard that Craig agreed to do this final one with the proviso that Bond dies. So part of the agreement in his contract was that his Bond would die at the end of this film. Yeah, so he had something to say. He had some part in it.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing too is Amazon Prime is not necessarily Amazon MGM Studios. Amazon owns the whole thing, sure, Bezos and that group, but MGM Studios is
Dude.
still its own thing. And I know.
I mean,
they're all
I know,
of a piece.
Jennifer Sulke's not there anymore, but
Yeah,
if she
and
was,
that's going to
this
make a
would
big
be-
difference, I think.
We can hope, but the problem is, all right, Bond is like, I'm not gonna say like the pinnacle of like masculine characters in entertainment, but he kind of is. He's a man's man. Basically, women love him, men want to be him, right? That's the whole cliche statement. And they've over the years have gone and slowly emasculated Bond, made him less masculine. I mean
he was a
fact that he
character that was based on having a magnificent set of skills and
Yes.
charisma, and they've taken away the charisma side of it.
Yes, and to a
He's
certain
now
extent,
capable, but he has no charisma to go along with this
Right.
character anymore.
Yeah.
The issue is that what are we going to see next? I mean, we've heard rumors about them wanting to do Jane Bond rather than James Bond. Of course, that got shot down.
Yeah, that died pretty
Sure,
quick.
do it, but don't make it 007. Whatever.
Yeah, she could
Keep
be 009,
007 what 007 is.
or she could be 0069.
Or just don't do it. I mean, the
I mean,
the
we don't
problem at
need
this
it,
point
sure.
No.
is that this shit's been done to death.
Yeah, it's a dead idea at this point.
Yeah.
And a female James Bond was done with Salt with
Yes.
Angelina Jolie, and it was actually a pretty good movie.
Salt
and
and Atomic
we
Blonde.
never got to see
Atomic Blonde, I thought was a great film.
Yeah. And I'm by no means opposed to to doing that. That's completely fine. Of course, we got the ballerina, and unfortunately, despite the fact that it was a good movie, it didn't do well, and a lot of it is because of the era of girl boss has basically killed the female action star. And I would
Right.
say probably a lot of female-led projects at this point.
The
Unfortunately.
perception of how the movie's going to play out, just because we've all been trained to think that now.
Right. Well, if the general audience even gets a whiff that this might be a girl boss movie, they're going to avoid it like the plague.
Yep.
Well, and I think we need, as a new media, and I've talked about this before, we need to be careful not to have the knee jerk reaction that, oh, it's a female lead, it's going to be woke. Yeah, and I think there was a period of time where we were doing that.
Well, and we were right.
For the most part, but there were some people that were making that assumption about ballerina, and turned out not to be the case. So every now and again, I think we need to be just a little bit more careful.
Well, I think there was
evaluating
some
this
concerns with that because we saw that they were doing massive reshoots, and we were hearing rumors that the movie was pretty bad.
Bad doesn't necessarily mean woke, though.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't hear a lot of people screaming that the movie was going to be woke. I just heard that it was potentially bad, and it could have identity politics in it, and that was the reason why it got reshot. So you never know. And that's kind of the thing too, is that we do know that movies have had stuff in it, and because of negative reactions, they've gone and removed
Course
stuff.
correction.
Just look at Disney. Look how they went and degaged several movies as a result of that. What a lot of people were like freaking out over, was it Inside Out 2? Basically people working at Disney, the fact that they basically removed the I guess the gay subplot of the movie, or themes, or whatever.
They complained about that a little bit after the whole thing with Florida, but then you had Elio, which was the most recent one, where this is the kid that gets mistaken for the leader of Earth, and he gets put on trial and all of that. The whole thing was supposed to be gay coded,
Right.
because of the director, and you had America Ferrera leave the cast because they took all of that stuff out, because focus groups are like, okay, well, this kid is mistaken for the leader of Earth. That should be the story, not the fact that he's gay.
Right.
And the fact that he's gay was it was a big self-insert from the writer director. And Disney was like, well, maybe we pull that whole thing back a little bit, and just basically all of the people that are upset about that basically say, well, you destroyed the story. Okay, well, if the whole thing was only about the fact that Elio was gay, then you don't have a story.
Yep. And I would argue that that some of these rock fans is gay coded.
Definitely.
No, super straight.
Sheeple.
Sheeple,
super
yeah.
straight.
If we're talking about Ovine, my Ovine friends, yes.
Mhm.
I mean, part of the problem is Hollywood thinks that gay is a personality now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's an attribute. It's like a skill or an attribute.
No, it is
It's-
the total personality.
Yeah.
Is the way they treat it.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. It's like at that point you're not seeing the actual human being, which is funny because they're always the ones that want to say people of color, putting the people before the color, and it's like, but you don't do that. You're saying you want to do that, but in reality, you're just making person black, gay person. That's the personality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rather than a person who happens to be black or a person who happens to be gay, which is, I think that one of the biggest problems that most people that talk about this stuff have with Hollywood. We don't care what the person looks like and how they identify. What we want is a good fucking character.
Yeah, the immutable characteristics have trumped character.
Say,
Right.
well, I'm gay. Well, great. You're a secret agent. Can you kick ass? Can you shoot well? Can you do what? No, I'm gay. You
None of
didn't hear
that
me.
matters. Gay.
You
Yeah.
didn't hear me. I'm
Well,
gay.
and okay, and I've brought up the show Happy Endings a couple of times, and this is a really good example of what I'm talking about, where you have a diverse cast, a diverse characters in a well-written show. It's like one of the funniest characters in the show is gay, not because he's gay, but because he's a fucking idiot. He's kind of a slob. He's a jackass. All these things. I mean, he's the guy out of the group that has his the least of his shit together. And yeah, being gay is one aspect of the character, but there's all these other things that make the character far more compelling than him just being gay. And it's the same thing with all the other characters, is that they all have flaws. They've all made mistakes. They all do stupid things, and hilarity ensues. And that's the reason why it's a great show. It's well fucking written with great characters. I mean, the show begins, the series begins with with one of the main characters getting ready to get married to another main character, and she jilts him at the altar. And there's throughout the first season, there's this conflict between the two of them, and basically and how it affects the dynamic of their friendships. And like I said, great fucking show, great fucking sitcom.
NBC had Will and Grace, and that started off as a pretty well-written, solid show. I enjoyed it for a number of seasons.
Yeah, it was a very good show.
And it was mainly about Will and Grace being best friends and navigating through life and work and relationships and whatnot. And then it became about Jack and what's her name, the drunk Karen. Yeah, it became the Jack and Karen show, and Jack was the flaming homo, and he stole the show.
Oh, he was
and was so flamboyant, and then everything became about those guys. Sean Hayes and I can't remember her name.
Well, it's because they
Offerman's
had
wife.
Offerman's wife. They had good chemistry together. They
did, and they were very funny.
Megan
Mullally, yeah. And they were very funny, and they had great chemistry together, and they chewed up the scenery every chance they got. The problem was they're supporting characters. If you're going to make a Jack and Karen show, go make a Jack and Karen show, and don't call it Will and Grace.
Right.
And it the show
but that happens
died
to all
pretty
kinds
quick.
of shows.
Yeah.
I mean, Family Matters was not supposed to be about Urkel.
No, Urkel wasn't
the
supposed to
Urkel
be
show.
in it. Yeah. Well, I mean,
happens all the
even
time.
Star Trek wasn't even immune to that, because you start out with an ensemble with Next Generation, and it becomes the Picard Data show.
Data Picard, yeah.
That's because all the rest of the characters on that show sucked.
Well, it's because they weren't written. They were the writers didn't take the time, because it was like audience responded to Spock. And so a lot of episodes became about Spock. Data was the same way. Audience responded to him as the other,
but
as the outsider.
I like the relationship he had with Geordi. It's kind of a shame that they kind of moved away from that, because initially it was like,
well, LeVar Burton really got a stick up his ass.
Damn it, Jason! You dragging us into another Star Trek conversation. I hate you.
Riker was always trying to bust things down with his forehead. Counselor Troy is the most useless character ever
She
created
really
in Star
is.
Trek lore. And it's just
She was
like,
easy on the eyes.
Besides Wesley
She
Crusher.
was all right when yeah, that's why she was there.
Wesley should not have been there.
Wesley
the
was a
female
Roddenberry
doctor.
self-insert.
Yes, he was, and
Yep.
that's why. I mean, yeah, he's the worst part of that show.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny how, in a lot of ways, it improved after Roddenberry left.
He had a lot of problems. Now, if you look at some of the original cast had a whole lot of problems with Roddenberry because he was going to cons and stuff and selling and using their images and not paying them royalties. They really didn't like him. He was truly a dick.
And that was one of the reasons why Leonard Nimoy almost didn't come back to the first movie.
It
was
almost
over the
completely because of
merchandise stuff.
Roddenberry.
Yeah. And there is a series of books that I'll recommend that cover all of this. There's 6 of them called "These Are the Voyages" by Mark Cushman. Very good, detailed notes throughout all of the 3 seasons of the show and into the wilderness years and into the movies. Everybody had problems with Roddenberry, and Roddenberry had problems with everybody.
Yeah.
The battles with the network.
That's typically how most creatives are, though.
Yeah, but it got to the point by the time we get to Star Trek II, Paramount had said, Gene, sit down. We're going to give you a creative consultant thing, and you're not going to do anything. Because he almost completely derailed the first movie. And then after that, you had it was Harv Bennett's show. And then when you get to Next Generation, Rick Berman kind of took the reins from Roddenberry had his thing with Robert Justman. And of course, Roddenberry got sick toward the beginning of that, and Rick Berman ended up being in charge. And the problem that Roddenberry had was he didn't want anybody in the Next Generation cast to have conflict with each other.
Right.
It was like, well, if they're all getting along, you don't have a show. You don't have drama. If everything's coming from outside the ship, that's not a show. So, yeah.
Well, he also wanted to rename the Enterprise to the USS Rodney King. So can't we all just
wait? Are you making a joke or are you serious?
Yes, I'm definitely making a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke
because that show came out before.
That's right, it did.
Yeah.
But no,
I was just sitting there watching Brahma shrink in his chair. And I'm like, I'm going to tell a Rodney King joke.
The problem is that we don't live in reality anymore, dude.
We don't.
Like,
we don't know what's real.
I don't know what's real anymore, man. I really don't. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like,
game over.
You could say something fucking ridiculous because we live in fucking clown world where ridiculous shit happens all the time. If you say something obscure like that, oh yeah, he wanted to rename the ship the USS Rodney King. I'll be like,
well,
that sounds about right.
What needed to happen there in that particular?
We named a naval ship the Harvey Milk.
Right.
That's true.
Well, this is a process question here.
For the Navy, though. I mean, it's the Navy.
What Talks should have done when he made that joke is he should have given himself a rim shot. And then everybody would know that he'd made the joke.
He's had a few of those tonight already.
Yeah, I've had several shots.
And I said rim shot.
Around the room.
So,
all of them to the head.
All of them to the head. Yep.
So much this Star Trek is really it's very good. I agree with Brahma, it's getting boring. We should talk about the missing episodes of Doctor Who they're reporting that they found.
I saw that. I saw that headline.
Them?
I haven't seen the story
Did
yet.
they went and burned them?
Sorry, who burned what?
Yes, did they find them and then they went and burned them?
No, the BBC found them and said we have to scrap these because they were made by old white men that we hate.
Fucking Polly.
No, there are a few
Come on,
more
Polly,
missing
get the stick out of your ass,
episodes,
buddy. Have some
but
fun.
Strong reports that they found a few more missing episodes of Doctor Who from the 60s. So, and some of them are quite exciting, especially the fourth episode of the 10th Planet story, which was the first regeneration. So,
they never aired
found any of that?
stories, or they just found
so
they thought was lost.
Private collectors had them. They say, and they were suspected for decades that private collectors had some of these. They just weren't
But these
willing to
were
put their hand up.
episodes that aired
very quick
at some point.
history lesson. Very quick history lesson. Reader's Digest version. So the BBC, when they would air these shows, they would reuse the film. They didn't keep all this stuff. A lot of the episodes that we have from the early days were recorded to kinescope and just set aside. But a lot of them are actually lost. They're gone because they scrap the film. They use it over again for another show.
How do they use it over again?
They
It was actually videotape. It was
videotape.
Just like we
Video,
do with
sorry,
VCR.
videotape.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
VCR. I'm sorry, videotape. So a lot of the
Because I was
stuff
like, it's like if they're recording on film, it's like, how the fuck do you lose that?
well,
Okay,
they shoot it on film. Well, the film stock can get recycled.
Hmm.
Eventually, it gets broke down and is sent back, and they make new film. New negative film stuff.
Gotcha.
But what they do here now, a lot of the stuff that's being recovered is being found is like Brian said, a lot of it's showing up in private collections. Some of them have shown up in places like Africa, places where
Nigeria
Nigeria, where they have BBC affiliates, and they have shipped, they'll ship canisters of film over the years, and they just collect dust in a closet somewhere. It's like the FBI archives.
Yeah, so sometimes they were finding film that people had taken. So when the BBC literally destroyed the film because they didn't have enough storage room, certain BBC individuals said, I don't want that to be destroyed, and they illegally took it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some things that exist, but also, as Jason said, they actually, well, you called it kinescope, they call it like telecine, they called it, I think, at the BBC. They put a camera in front of the television broadcasting the original show and recorded that, and they would send copies of that overseas for people to show those copies. I don't know, the 16 millimeter usually they use.
Yeah,
with sound.
spread them out throughout the empire.
Yeah, so they spread them out around the world: Australia, New Zealand, Canada, African countries, whatever. Singapore was somewhere they found some. The BBC sold those. So some of those still existed even when the original film was junked. So now they think they've got some of these original films, I think it's films mainly, from private collectors who have not yet come forward, of certain episodes that have been lost for decades.
That's interesting.
And
it's
it's
been
not just
10
Doctor
years
Who.
since the last ones.
Yeah, and it's not just Doctor Who. The BBC did this with all these shows. So all of these shows, all of these collections have got episodes and shows that from all throughout the BBC. Steptoe and
Son, Dad's Army, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
But we're interested in the Doctor Who episodes.
Right.
I'd love to see the Peter Cook and Dudley Moore stuff.
I want to get this
junked.
Comment real quick because this is interesting. So Deadman asks, how did NASA forget to get to the moon? That's a real easy answer. How did Europeans forget how to make columns?
Or roads.
Yeah.
Or plinths.
Yeah, it just, technology gets lost sometimes as a result. Change in priorities of civilizations. That's basically what happened.
The companies, the reason the United States got to the moon is, number one, we stole all the right German scientists. Number two, 35% of the entire country at one point was dedicated to putting someone on the moon.
Yep.
All right. That's a lot of knowledge in somebody's head that's not going to get into plans and stuff, things like that. This may be the dawn of the computer age, but remember, they went to the moon with a computer that was less powerful than a credit card calculator. Your phone
or electrical, was it not an electrical watch, but a
credit card, well, a solar credit card calculator.
Less power than an original Nintendo.
That's right.
Yes. They went to the moon on that, and it's because they had so many people focused on that and all that institutional knowledge. When they shut everything down in 72, 74, and all that, they lost all that knowledge. People went out and did other things. You can only focus that much of a country's will for so long, which is why most wars in the modern age are 5, 6, 7 years. They don't last that long, not hot ones. They may go cold, they may come back and stuff, because you're a total war, you're focusing everyone to do that, and you just can't do it.
It's a very nice full moon out tonight, by the way. If you go out,
there's
very nice full moon tonight.
Yep.
Super moon.
So the dead man says, am I sure about that?
Yeah.
Relatively sure. Yeah. I mean, when certain things stop being a priority, you forget how to do it. That's all there is to it. And that's basically the same thing I'm talking about here.
Well, when you look at the number of
stopped
places,
being a priority for us to go to the moon.
the number of places that use old mainframes with old archaic language, that people are all either dead or retired, and nobody knows how to program them anymore.
Okay,
And
here's
Drow
another
makes
example.
a good point that we've made here before. Like people who originally were working on the grid or on pipelines, if they didn't pass on that knowledge, there's only a few people that can actually repair anything right now.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up. Is remember the pipeline that got hacked, and there was like one dude that knew how to do everything manually, and that's a huge automation. As someone who loves automation, I truly do. It is no substitute for knowing how to do things manually, just in case. And that's one of the biggest issues with what happened with the Colonial Pipeline. Is
we've got whole generations that are not ever learning how to actually spell because they've got spell check in everything they do.
My dad worked for a Caterpillar dealership for a good number of years. And he has in his office at home, he's retired now, but he has in his office at home decades of maintenance manuals, service manuals, repair manuals for all sorts of Caterpillar equipment, some of which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And all of this institutional knowledge, you walk in there and this is all of this Caterpillar institutional knowledge that's on these shelves. I was like, what are you going to do with all of this? What do we do with this? Because Caterpillar doesn't want it. I was like, nobody at Caterpillar is going to be able to find anything. And here it all is. And he's even gotten rid of some stuff, but it's still, the office is full of these manuals. I'm like, doesn't Caterpillar want some of this stuff? Did you ask him, like maybe for a museum or something? He's like, no, they don't want it because everything's gone digital. Everything is online. And maybe they've scanned all this stuff, but you're talking about, since the early 60s, he's had all of this stuff, and he's worked in almost every division, worked on all of their machines. He's trained people. He's done workshops, and he's just this guy. He's the guy that if you lose his knowledge, it's all gone.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I want to get this real quick because it's a great segue for me to get back to super chats, because Krupp sent me a super chat and I haven't read it yet. It says, you are terrible at reading super chats. Well, I'm terrible at reading in general.
Getting to them and reading them. Yes.
Yeah,
he's it.
Indeed. So we
if you digitize things, remember this. You need to have them on a tablet that you can solar charge, and you have to have readers and things like that. So you need to get medical dictionary, all this stuff just like that.
Kindle Paperwhite. Fucking really, this thing holds a charge like nobody's business.
Yep. And you've got to have multiple
shit on there.
Copies of
and
things.
You know what? And I can solar charge it. So, yeah.
Rhaegar Targaryen is also right. You are a better reader than Gary.
That is true. At times. That's why I always say that. Was that?
Beardo is the worst. But you are better than Gary.
Yeah. Well, his brain is damaged. My brain is damaged too. So there you go. All right. Eric K for $5. Look at the higher ups at FEMA posting crap about MAGA and denying people after floods and Hurricane Aid. Yeah, we talked about that.
I think we got that.
They wouldn't even stop. Yep, that's an issue. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Says this is getting a little attention. As you know, I may have military connections. Keep your head on a swivel tomorrow. Huge alert for possible terrorist attack were issued 2 weeks-ish ago for the 7th. Really?
Oh boy.
It's no bueno. I'm glad you said something, man. That's kind of scary. Pinochet for another $1 says, I fear they want these attacks to go off to further divide and point the finger.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's some scary shit, my friend. It really is.
Yeah, my wife is flying out to Tennessee tomorrow, so that's a little bit disturbing.
Yeah. Retromeister for $10 says, to Tox's point, I witnessed it myself living in CO during COVID-19 and how it was slowly but surely becoming commiphoria due to Democrat policies and ADs that favor criminals over law-abiding citizens.
Colorado is a hellhole.
Who did we lose?
Yep.
Oh, Brian.
Brian.
70s.
Brian,
Okay.
yeah, 70s had to go. But I'm just going to say, somebody said I have a point. It's pretty good. First time in 5 years.
Dude, you make good points all the time. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, but then I say something fucking dumb and completely ruin it. It just,
Yeah,
you
You
know.
just,
Well,
yeah,
I
you
mean,
make
I'll
good
say
points
something.
all the time. You just make horrible points. More?
Yeah. Make more horrible
All right, the Dead Man for $9.99 says Constitution and panel. Ken Burns is releasing a doc on PBS about Revolution on PBS. I generally like his docs, but the people who need to see it won't watch it. Well, yeah. I've been watching another YouTube channel called Dad Saves America, and he has some great videos talking about a lot of stuff. And he has one talk about the whole thing with PBS because he worked in entertainment. He's like, hey, I've even had, a show on PBS. But yeah, he talks with the whole thing with the defunding. It was actually really interesting. Tina Guzman for $2. They've changed the Bond books too due to language. Yeah, that's. I fucking hate this updating shit from modern sensibilities nonsense. I'm trying to remember. There was like another
Roald
movie
Dahl.
where they did that.
They did it to Roald Dahl. They did it to the Goosebumps guy. They were doing it to Agatha Christie. They're doing it to the Bond books. There was one or two others that I remember reading about that we reported on, and I can't remember what they are now.
Well,
but
apparently,
R.L.
Crocodile
Stein,
Dundee, they took out.
They took out the scene in the bar.
Yes.
Yeah. But R.L. Stein didn't even know they were doing it to his books.
Wow.
Which sucks. They should
That I think that's, I don't know. What do you think is worse, when the author does it or when the publisher does it?
It's the author's creation. They can do it. If a company does it to an author's creation, that's destroying the author's creation.
Well, and a lot of times an author will come in, if you're coming in with like a new edition or, you get a new deal with a different publisher. Oh, here's my chance to fix this thing. 10 years later, I found this problem in this chapter. I can fix it. Or there was a plot hole or something I can fix, or the character name changed and I didn't catch it or whatever. Those kind of things, those kind of corrections, yeah, fine. But if you're going to change the story completely because of ideological differences in the culture, that's a problem no matter who does it. At least for me.
I mean, like Stephen King made major changes to The Gunslinger when they re-released everything once the actual Dark Tower series took off. So, I mean, he had to fix it to make it work with the rest of the story because it wasn't originally intended to go into an epic series. So when the author does it, I'm fine with it.
I think it
did
when
a
it
number on all those
I think it
grim fairy
depends.
tales.
Because as someone who does creates worlds for role-playing games, my weekend tabletop stuff, there's times where I'm like, now that I got the world kind of flushed out, I would have done some things a little bit differently. And I totally get that, to a degree, right? As you kind of like more and more develop your story, there's certain things you're like, well, okay, maybe I will do this instead. And because it just makes the world work a little better, I guess is the best way of putting it. So I kind of get, right? Because like typically like with when I start a new game, I maybe have like a month or 2 or 3 of stuff I basically developed, usually pretty rapidly, to get things going. And then as the story progresses, I start altering stuff because it makes more sense because I've had more time to develop the world.
But you can just call it 2.0 and still have the original 1.0 around.
Yeah. Pretty much. Retromeister for another $5. Barbara Broccoli ruined 007 with the No Time to Die, going back to 007, going off into the sunset with his new love at the end of Spectre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the one I never watched was Spectre. But anyway, it's BS.
Who was that?
Corrupt for $2 says, "Yo, comics, make me your 0.0013%." Killing me, dude. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. To be fair, Terminalist Darkwolf seemed like an Amazon spent some money. Pat is executive producer. Maybe that's why. Oh, Pratt. Sorry, Pratt. Not
Yeah,
Pratt.
he seems.
I
to
watched
produce
the
quality
initial
stuff.
episodes released, and this one just didn't catch me like the original Terminalist. I'll go back and watch it when I have time, but it wasn't appointment watching for me.
Yeah, fair
Mrs.
enough.
Flo and I have been watching Only Murderers in the Building again. That show has just been good for me the whole time.
That's good.
It's just comedy.
It's something that
Right.
we're missing these days.
Yeah.
All right, Terminus S for $2. If they make Pedro Pascal the next James Bond, then he should drive an Audi. Since we all know Pedro loves to ride on Audi's nuts.
Audie's nuts. Well done. Well said.
Retro Monster for $5. Now Amazon is trying to destroy him with the new reboot game. Bet Barbara hates old school fans and gives CADs to fans made games like GoldenEye 25.
Mm.
Cease and desist.
Oh, cease and desist. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize they did that. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Keep in mind the Constitution of Terminalist with the Pratt's Reese is already filmed and in the can. It is on the shelf to let Taylor Kissich and Tom
Kitsch.
Hopper. Oh, Kitsch. Okay, Kitsch. And Tom Hopper's characters build up a bit before the end.
Right, because the current Terminalist that's airing is a prequel, essentially.
Right.
So,
And I haven't seen Terminalist, and I kind of get it. It's in the title, Terminalist, so I don't. My suspicion is that he doesn't make it out of the series at the end of the first season, I guess.
you need to watch it.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
It's good enough.
Fair enough. Pinochet's helicopter
9 people.
tours for $1 says the Nazis were sentenced to death or rocket science.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Well, those two.
Argentina.
Or Argentina.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The schnitzel barely knew you.
Magda Norris for $5. I started manufacturing with automated. Then my next company was all manual. You don't understand a process until you operate manually. Exactly.
True.
That is exactly my point. And it's the reason why when I, like many weeks ago, we're talking about AI on FNT. I use AI a lot with programming now because it just makes my coding a lot faster. But I spent well over 20 years coding. So I know what the fuck I'm doing. And so I'm fine with using a tool that is a force multiplier. I mean, I wrote my own code generator a number of years ago to help me write code where I can basically go and scaffold an app. So to me, this really isn't any different. And there's been code generation tools around for decades at this point. So AI is just kind of the next level of that. But like I said, you need to understand what the fuck you're doing before you start using a tool like that. Because if you don't, you're just going to write garbage.
Well, except for the generative AI that you're using is not creating. You're not creating fiction. You're not creating stories. You're not doing something on an entertainment aspect that takes from other source material, just random and without any kind of consideration or compensation for the people that it's sourcing it from.
I mean, you could to a degree say that because somebody wrote the code that it was probably ingested into the AI model.
Oh, that's true. But
So
it can. I don't know enough about it. I'm assuming that some of that stuff can be copyrighted.
well, I mean, what's probably happened is that they
Or
probably
patented.
trained it on a bunch of public, GitHub repositories. But anyway, or articles written on websites or whatnot. So there's that. Mod Eric for $1 says, pray that tomorrow's terrorist Hamas sympathizers do not do any violence tomorrow. October 7th is tomorrow. Oh, shit. Okay, that makes
that's
sense.
Yeah, October 7th.
It's a 2-year anniversary.
Right.
Mhm.
Those people have been tortured and raped for a year. Wow.
2
2
years.
years.
Well,
Now that
and
would make sense
of
what Pinochet is
of the
talking about.
hostages, there's 48 remaining, and they believe that only 20 are still alive.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's insane. The Dead Man for $4.99. My brain is damaged too. I did a lot of LDS. You did a lot of
Latter-day
Mormons
Saints?
That's a Star Trek joke.
during the 80s.
That's a Star Trek joke.
Yeah, it is a Star Trek joke. Yeah. LDS.
At Berkeley.
Yeah. The Dead Man for another $4.99. I love the Star Trek discussion without me starting it. LOL.
I blame Jason.
It is Jason's fault. Speaking of AI, so now there is this AI actress. That whole thing is fucking weird, dude. Really fucking weird. I want to pull up the article and talk about it.
Tilly Norwood.
Tilly Norwood, which is pretty fucking crazy. AI is certainly kind of getting out of hand, I think, at this point. The very idea of saying that an AI, which is basically a piece of software, needs representation, is kind of fucking weird. So Tilly Norwood was developed by this company in the UK. And yeah, Hollywood basically wants to sign her. And of course, the actors are like, oh, fuck no. Oh, no. So my
It's an
question
end
is,
around to give rights to things that don't exist.
right. Well, and the thing that's crazy about it is I'm going to show you guys the video, which is the promo video for this. And some of it you can tell is AI. Some of it, not so much.
Yeah, it's
And
scary good.
it just shows you how much things have escalated in the last 3 years when it comes to AI. Okay, so let me close that out. This video is you're about to view is 100% AI generated. No humans or bears were harmed in the making of this production. So yes, nobody in this video is real. And I'm going to full screen it. Just watch it.
We all knew TV was dead, but thought, why not squeeze in one last development meeting?
We had one rule: no missing children, no dead women, and no reboots of Heartbeat.
We'd pitched this beautiful comedy, two sisters running a funeral parlour in Margate. Warm, weird, very BBC Two.
The commissioner said no. AI generated 100 better ideas in minutes, perfectly aligned to channel data, viewing figures, and optimized for the audience. The winning AI format?
I know what you streamed last summer.
What's that?
The mouths give it away every single time.
Yeah, there is definitely some stuff with it that you can kind of tell it's
The
AI.
way their mouths move when they're saying words doesn't look right.
Oh, it will get better over time. You won't be able to tell
Yeah.
the difference, but
I remember
Yeah,
the
I think-
20 arms and 100 hands
yep.
a year and a half ago.
Well, even like, I would say these piercings are fucking wrong, because she has like the plugs and has hoops through them. I've never seen anyone do that. That's really weird.
Right.
Anyway.
Interactive thriller built from your streaming history and delivery orders.
What? And who could forget the mental health format?
Britain's Got Breakdown. Audience votes on who gets therapy.
Ian Katz loved
When there's text too, so that's all.
Yeah.
Ian Katz loved that one. I remember saying, "You do realise this is for BBC Two?"
Her
It
nose,
tested.
her nose looks fucking weird. A lot of these, like her piercings, look fucked up. So some of these, that's where you can kind of tell is that some of the noses of these women look really weird. word.
Well, and everybody is enunciating very, very carefully and properly. There's no slurring of words. There's no
It's too
mumble
clean.
mouth, fumble speech,
right?
Any of that.
But they did get it right that working at the BBC, it's probably a whole bunch of short-haired women of specific type.
Yep.
Especially the one with the nose ring.
Yep. And you also can tell like the lapels of her jacket are kind of like blending in.
2, it tested ridiculously well, particularly among men who shop at Screwfix and women obsessed with gut health.
All made for less than the catering budget on the Bear.
It cast and budgeted itself. Only bit it struggled with was consent in romantic scenes.
Okay, hold
We
on
just
a second.
ignored that.
It wrote the whole...
It was the first white guy that it generated. It generated a fat guy eating a burrito.
No, there was another white guy already in it.
Okay, so the only time I was paying attention was a fat guy eating a burrito with a coffee.
Was that supposed to be Az?
No.
That's a
Az
sandwich.
is way skinnier now. Dude's been working out.
Just ignored that.
It wrote the whole script. Claude 3, Gemini, GPT. We called it a writer's room. It even did its own Silver Mouse paperwork and immediately got Albert certified.
What's Silver Mouse?
Just an elaborate BBC hazing ritual. Who did it cast?
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
By some company called Particle 6.
She'll do anything I say. I'm already in love.
Girl next door vibes.
Like if a Sunday roast went to drama school and got BAFTA optimized.
But can she cry on Graham Norton?
Of course she can. And it'll be clipped, subtitled, and monetized on TikTok by lunchtime.
We're all going to hell.
Got recommissioned, didn't it? 3 seasons and a podcast.
By an AI commissioner, much faster.
But hey, at least it wasn't a reboot.
That is fucking frightening.
It is.
It's absolutely fucking frightening. Yep.
Now, the one application that I could see where this would be somewhat partially sort of acceptable is if you have an actor in a motion capture suit who does the performance, and then they skin the performance with one of these characters.
They already do that.
They do, yeah, they do. But if you're going to do this kind of thing completely generated with a brand new script and everything, and there is no human performance at all whatsoever.
The art is dead at that point.
That art's dead. Yeah, I agree. Plus, you've got so many people that are out of work at that point, because not only are you generating the character at all of the different people that are, that are in that scene, but you're generating the scene as well, which means your casting people don't have a job, your lighting people, your set people, your construction people, your props people, your hair and makeup, your costume. All of these people now don't have work because the computer has done it all.
Yeah, well, okay, I want to pull this back up because there's another video, and I want you to see the title, which is AI casting. Okay, Tilly Norwood, casting. You're not casting an AI character. This is not a real person. Okay, you basically hire the company and they create a character, or you use the rights to that character or whatnot. The idea that this is considered to be casting, because the AI has as much talent as, I guess, the person who is able to program it or develop it or
Who's
render
the
or whatever.
douchebag to the right of the cast? Oh, that's Jason. Sorry.
Yeah. What the fuck is he doing here?
Watch his shows.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's today's show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Number 896, by the way.
Yeah. So the idea behind the fact that they need to cast an AI actor, and again, it's not an actor, it's a fucking AI character at this point. It's not a real person. That's the thing that's so fucking weird about it. This is the thing that I find that makes it insidious, is the fact that they're trying to pretend like this is an actual person, and therefore it needs representation like a person.
Well, if you're going to have a talent agency that sits there and represents Tilly Norwood, the actual deal, and they have to be transparent about this, the actual deal is going to be with Eline van der Velden, who developed the character, the CEO of Particle 6.
Right.
Just be fine with that. I'll say, okay, this talent agency is going to work with Particle 6 to develop projects that this Tilly Norwood construct would be appropriate fit for. Don't sit there and pretend that this is a person.
Right.
Don't try to drive this narrative that Tilly is a real woman who performs on set. Because the other thing too is, let's say we put Tilly Norwood in the next Star Trek, for example, right? And she'll play a Vulcan in this show. She's not on set.
No.
And she's not interacting with any of the rest of the characters, any of the rest of the actors. They're looking at a tennis ball. Yeah, it's and it affects the performance of everybody else in the scene.
I want
So
to
you just need more AI actors.
Yes, exactly.
Right, which means a lot of people are going to be out of work.
They make a point about the whole thing with like, this is just like the next version of puppeteering, right? Or CG. And great fucking point. It says, had Tilly Norwood been introduced simply as the latest advance in puppetry animation or CGI, and not as a potential replacement for human actresses, the reception might have been far less severe. Because you have actors that are losing their shit over this as they fucking because they're going to get replaced. Now, with actors publicly speaking out, talent agencies must decide whether to embrace digital stars or leave AI talent to programmers and digital puppeteers. And that's what the problem is.
Well, and somebody pointed out on our show today, this is not a person. This is an intellectual property.
Yes,
and should be treated as such. And the SAG, SAG came out and made a statement about it. Emily Blunt's made a statement. There are all sorts of actors who come out and said this is a very bad thing. And I recall Justine Bateman being among those who were sitting there going, "Hey, SAG, you're on strike about all of this AI, all of this representation and royalties on streaming, but this AI thing is going to come in and bite you in the ass, and you're not ready for it." And
the strikes weren't about AI or
there
was
an element. There was an element of protection,
of using likenesses.
Using likenesses, but it didn't have anything to do with generative AI, where you had characters, personas that were created out of whole cloth.
But
in order
anybody who's
to
paying attention
replace
should
them.
have been able to see that.
Yeah, and Justine Bateman was out there beating the drum, saying, "Hey guys, this is a bigger problem than you guys realize. This is going to come back and be a problem."
Oh well, we
and
all fucking
now here we
fucking
are.
saw it. We were talking about this shit over a year ago during the strikes, and that's the thing I find so fucking funny. In a lot of ways, I think the strikes opened a door to this shit. And for me, one of the issues I have is with them going and using AI to recreate dead actors.
Yeah.
It's one thing to cast somebody who looks very similar to play, let's say, Marilyn Monroe in a movie about Marilyn Monroe. But now you can actually create Marilyn Monroe to play Marilyn Monroe using AI, which is kind of fucking weird.
Well, did you see
you can create a likeness.
Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' kid.
Yes.
She has been getting videos from people creating new AI generated stuff of her dad.
Yes.
And she's like, "Stop
Please
this
stop."
crap."
Yeah.
I
can understand why she would be fucking weirded out by that.
I would too.
Yeah.
That's
And
creepy.
in a lot of ways, it's kind of insulting. I mean, I
And
totally
it's
see her
intrusive.
point. Yeah.
It's intrusive too, and it's really creepy.
It basically just makes people public domain.
Yeah.
Which goes back to our whole reality versus social media. What's online is now the new reality that replaces the actual real reality, and that's where these people live, in this box, and it's sitting right here with this camera and things. All of us are digital constructs now.
Yep.
Because none of us are here in real life.
Maybe you are.
Well, I'm here in real life, but I'm interacting with all of you guys on the screen.
To be fair, I've met
I've
everybody.
met the other guys,
with the exception of you, Jason.
I know. You guys need to come to Kansas City. We'll hang out, have some barbecue. I talk Star Trek.
I'm out.
I've actually been to KC before.
Good barbecue.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff up here.
Dude,
Lindsay's right. The Stanley hologram at LA Comic-Con. I mean, that was just beyond the pale. There's no reason for any of that.
No, there isn't.
But they used him into the ground. Why would they stop now?
Well,
Right.
yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, that is such a sad story about how that man was being abused towards the end.
Yeah.
Very, very unfortunate. And here he is being abused beyond the grave.
Yep.
So I want to get this from Ghost Army. He has an interesting point. He says people's regard for Hollywood actors is an all-time low. Yeah. They cost millions and are unpredictable and openly condemn half the country. I welcome AI generated actors.
There is part of me that says that too.
I know, and trust me, I totally get it. I totally do. But the problem is you're removing, in a lot of ways, the human element from entertainment. I mean, you could say the same thing about video games, but at the end of the day, that was created by humans, and it's voice acted by humans, and a lot of characters are awfully modeled off of real life humans. I mean, am I completely opposed to it? No. But at the same time, and in my opinion, it needs to be done where it makes sense. Like what we're talking about, the whole idea of, okay, rather than just using somebody creates a model, like how they used to be able to do it, use AI to go and rotosculpt onto an actual actor that's supposed to be a monster or whatever. I mean, to me, like that makes complete sense.
It feels like in most of the movies, though, now the humans are the only thing that is in the movie.
Yeah.
Everything else is just created around them after they work on a green screen.
Right. And that's part of the reason why when you compare, for me, seeing Top Gun Maverick in the theater, that experience was vastly different than watching a Marvel movie, right? Because it's nothing but a green screen set. And I don't have a complete issue with that, because there's certain times where it makes sense for it to be a green screen or a blue screen or whatever. When it comes to movies like The Spirit or Sin City, where it is kind of that more kind of like fantasy,
stylized world.
Yeah, stylized kind of world. Totally cool shit like that. Don't have a problem. But when it comes to your average movie, and there's a lot of movies I was actually really surprised that it was all shot on green screen, or certain scenes were shot on green screen.
Well, it's like Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters Afterlife. They're in front of the library, but they weren't really.
No.
Right.
That's crazy. Just go shooting in front of the library.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Exactly. And it's there's certain things with the G.I. Joe movie I brought up, and it's just like the Marvel movies. But the for me, in a lot of ways, your brain knows when it's fake. It can tell because certain things just don't always look right.
You might Maverick and F1 look so much better to us than other things did.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's
it's
one of the
as Plinkett would say, you may not have noticed it, but your brain did.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty good.
But it's true. It is absolutely fucking true. Your brain will fucking know. You may not know, but your brain does. And it's the reason for me why Maverick was one of the best fucking movie experiences I've had in recent years, is because of the fact that it looked real. My brain.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons why people respond to Andor so much over some of the other Star Wars shows, is that Andor was shot on location and not in the volume.
Right.
It does make a difference.
No, it absolutely does. And I do think that there's a time and place for that type of technology. Like if you're an independent filmmaker and you're trying to make something on cheap, using the volume makes sense, right? You're going to keep the budget low.
And that technology is going to get better.
But I miss the fact that, movies used to take place in the real world, or were created in the real world. Now it's just created on a green screen. And again, like I said, I'm not opposed to it, but you got to use it where it makes sense. Like a lot of like the movies that came out in the 70s and 80s, and a certain extent 90s, where they had the, you're in a cockpit and you have the blue screen, where they're able to fill it in with whatever, flying, crashing, whatever. Same thing like with Luke in the X-Wing, where they basically are using a blue screen, but he's actually physically in a cockpit.
Yeah.
Now it's like they put him in a chair and they just shoot it on a green screen. And
and one of the things Ben Burtt talked about, he was a sound designer for the Star Wars trilogy, and he's still around doing sound for them. But he talked about when they were collecting sounds for the first Star Wars movie, and you want to have this universe that feels lived in and feels like it's been around for a while. All of the world building stuff. They collected so many sounds. They said the reason why it works so well is because these are organic sounds, mechanical sounds, animal sounds that your brain recognizes as a real sound from a thing that makes that sound.
Right.
A bear or a koala or a brake drum or something in the real world. It's not just some made up generated thing. It's an actual real sound from the world that we live in. It's just being used in a different application in this Star Wars universe.
Foley artists are completely underrated, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that's one of the reasons why the world building works so well in the Star Wars stuff, because everything sounds like stuff that we know.
Well, I want to say like the sound of the blaster was basically somebody banging on a high tension wire.
Yeah, it's the high tension wire on power poles.
Yeah.
And he'd hit it. He put the microphone up against it with the Nagra tape recorder, and he'd hit it with a crescent wrench.
Yeah.
And that's where that twang piece of it, and they combine it with an actual gunshot, mix those two together, and there's your Stormtrooper blaster.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
It is. Yeah, there was a whole segment on it, I think, on PBS that talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah. But in a lot of ways, I mean, I feel like some of the creativity is being sucked out of entertainment. It's like, how did they do that? The whole thing with movie magic back in the day.
I think most of it's being sucked out.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, movie magic has become computer magic.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the industry is ripe for a resurgence of indie projects. Lana Parrilla, who was the evil queen on Once Upon a Time on ABC, we just got a thing. She's now been added to the cast of this movie called Synthetic, which is an indie project about this runaway robot who ends up on a farm, and they end up, kind of paired off together against, everything that's coming off on the world. And I thought it was interesting that you have an established industry actress in Lana Parrilla who's doing an indie project. It's not a studio picture. And I think you're going to get a lot of those, but I want to see the next rat pack of directors. In the 70s, you had Scorsese, Coppola, Spielberg, Brian De Palma, George Lucas. There was this handful of indie directors that changed everything.
Yeah.
And where's the next group of those guys?
Well,
I
directors are cast now, not directors.
Yeah.
That's what Disney and Marvel have made them.
Is that a lot of it is like, for better or worse, Lucas was a visionary, when he created Star Wars. Now, just like Rama said, directors are cast. Just look at Marvel now.
You did a music video one time, or you did a commercial. Would you like this $250 million movie?
Right. I mean, look at what happened with
You're
Josh Trank.
You're going to do exactly what we say when you are directing.
Yeah.
But we're going to call you a director.
And that's one of the reasons why Josh Trank flamed out after Fantastic Four, is because he did Chronicle,
Fan Four Stick,
this little tiny low budget nothing movie that came out of nowhere and hit the indie scene, hit all the film festivals and stuff. It blew everybody away.
Right.
With this no budget, and so you give him Fantastic Four, and it just completely blew his mind, and he lost himself, and he's standing on stage, getting ready to announce that he's going to take the Boba Fett movie, and he bails. He has a breakdown, and his whole career fell apart at that point because he couldn't handle the pressure. Gareth Edwards is another one. He does this low budget picture, whatever, but he's handled it better because he's still making movies.
Right.
But Spielberg took him under his wing. You have those directors. I mean, J.J. Abrams has flamed out. Kurtzman's done. Roberto Orci is dead. There is no batch of filmmakers, whether they're indie filmmakers or studio directors, that are going to change the system. They're going to redefine the system again. Christopher Nolan is probably the only one out there who's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Who else is out? I mean, Scorsese's still out there doing stuff, but look at what they did to Coppola with this Megalopolis thing that he did. They've destroyed him over that.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of things too that it's kind of the problem. It's like, I don't have a problem with who's the chick that did the Marvels, being a director.
Nia DaCosta.
Yeah, Nia DaCosta. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Nia DaCosta the right person to do a Marvel movie? Probably not. But could she potentially be after doing, some more and more bigger films? Sure, why not? And it's the whole thing with experience. This is kind of the problem that when it comes to the industry, it's like, I understand taking a chance on somebody, especially if they actually care. One of the problems that we're seeing is that they bring the wrong people in to do these shows, and it's not because they love science fiction. If somebody was like a soap opera writer and they really wanted to get into science fiction, and that getting in a soap opera was the only way for them to break into the industry, hey, I totally respect that. I really do.
Yeah.
But the issue is that they're taking people who don't want to be science fiction writers and making them science fiction writers. That's the reason why Star Trek is bad. You have people that don't like fantasy or superheroes that are involved in these fucking projects, and that's the problem.
Well, there's an additional piece to that. It's not just the fact that you're getting people who are they're not fans of science fiction who are writing science fiction. You get people who are activists who see science fiction as the vehicle for trying to change society and remake it in its own image. We're going to take Star Wars and we're going to preach at you about
what science fiction has been used for in the past, which I don't have an issue with. But the problem is the way it was presented during those time periods. And Ghost Army, I want to hit his comment again. He says, imagine watching a live action AI generated movie of Secret Wars from the actual comic book. The problem is,
then
the
it becomes
person
animation.
creating it has to want to make it based off the comic book. And that's the problem with the Secret Invasion that we saw, is that what do they say to the people making it? Don't read the comic book. That's the issue. That just because something is AI generated doesn't fucking solve the entire problem. There's other facets that are issues, which is basically the creative and direction and the people directing the project that are the fucking problem. We could have had a very good Secret Invasion series that was comic book accurate if Disney wanted to do it, which they don't. They want to mine it for the IP. They want to mine the IP, and that's really it. They don't fucking care about the story, whether you do or somebody else out there does or does not, right? They want to do their version of it. And they're really just kind of banking off the name recognition of the title of the series.
Well, and Nia DaCosta nailed it. She said none of these directors have ownership of these things. It's all Kevin Feige's show, and that goes back to an analogy that I've been using for a number of years now. Kevin Feige is a showrunner on a very big, large-scale TV series called Marvel Avengers, whatever, and he's the showrunner. And the directors each get a movie that's an episode of the TV show. And so your overall vision comes from your showrunner, executive producer, and not from the directors of the episodes. It has to fit within. It's like we talked about with Gene Roddenberry.
Mm-hmm.
Harlan Ellison blew a gasket because Roddenberry rewrote The City on the Edge of Forever, because The City on the Edge of Forever that Harlan Ellison wrote had absolutely no resemblance to Star Trek. But a lot of these guys who were writing, especially in that first season of the show, there hadn't been a show. Nobody knew what the show was going to be. So Roddenberry had to rewrite a lot of stuff to make all of the episodes and all the stories consistent.
Yeah.
And, here's the show. It's Kirk, Spock, and here's the uniforms, and here's how the technology works, and blah, blah, blah. And Ellison was mad at Roddenberry for that for years, had a chip on his shoulder about being rewritten like that. But it's the same kind of thing now what's going on with Marvel. You know, your writers and your directors don't have creative control so much. You have Feige. And Feige needs to go. He's tapped out.
Well, and I think the issue too is you do have to have someone with a common vision if you're going to do something with the MCU, right? Or at the very least, guidelines. Hey,
the showrunner idea isn't a bad one, except that he has no idea where he's taking anything, and no outline to get it there.
No.
So if you have no endpoint and you have no outline on getting there, then what are you running?
Well, and that's where all of the reshoots and stuff come into play because, and we saw this when. Now that was okay. So DC had this problem too, and I want to say it was Aquaman, and there was another one that had to flip, and you had this happen in Marvel as well, where you had a couple of movies that flipped in the schedule, and so you had to have reshoots in order to make it work story-wise chronologically, because now stuff happens before instead of after.
Right.
And so they had to rewrite and reshoot in order to accommodate that change in the schedule. It was like that's when your story is crap because it doesn't hold up. What if you move it on the schedule? Then your priorities are something other than telling a story.
Well,
let's get ready for the next thing.
Yeah. Can I go back to the comic book thing? So the comic book stories, you're talking, well, if it had done the comic book story and did this. Correct me if I'm wrong. My recollection is that over the last 30, 40 years, comic books have really dived in popularity.
Yes.
So
yes,
if you go back to these things, oh, well, if they'd just done like this comic book, I mean, you're asking a lot of people who didn't give a crap about this or didn't like it, even the number of people that read it, there's a certain percentage of them didn't like it. You're asking an incredibly small amount of fan base, all right, to come out to see a comic book accurate film, which is great for that small fan base.
Well,
but you're not making any money.
I know
you've got to make
going.
the film appeal to a larger audience.
I agree.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
That's where you have to go. And
well,
I think that they did
it's the
that
reason
with some
why
early
I'm
films.
fine with them changing things, you know, to a certain degree. It's like, I don't need to have a comic book adapted on the screen. As long as they are true to the character, right? Spider-Man, your favorite character talks, good example, right? As long as they stay true to the core values of that character, it's not an issue.
Villains are the villains, the core.
Exactly.
And so what you're talking about is the archetypes that have been created in the melodrama that is the comic book. You want Spider-Man to be Spider-Man, Superman to be Superman.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Now,
the
going
issue
to the
is that when you
Superman film
go
that
and
just
you
happened, that was not Superman.
Yeah.
As the archetype character. Now, he may have been a Superman from one of the comic books runs or whatever, but most people remember Superman, Truth, Justice, the American Way, all that stuff in there.
And
And then
not
we
getting
said
his
they weren't
ass
going to
kicked repeatedly.
Well, okay,
Exactly.
let me interject. Most people remember Superman as Christopher Reeve's Superman. They don't think of Superman from the
100%.
comic book.
That's
and
true.
what are you trying to do here?
And what
Make
is
money. You're
Yes.
not trying to do anything else but that. And when you get away from that base business, making money by having a lot of people pay money to see your film, all right, then you end up with what we're getting is a whole bunch of indie films that are crap, poorly made.
For the most part.
That's
But
what we're
my whole
getting.
thing is like, if you're gonna go with that idea, which I don't have a problem with, don't call something Secret Invasion and not have it be Secret Invasion. Because that's
if you're going to use the storylines from the comic books, at least make it resemble the storylines from the comic books instead of completely rewriting a known storyline.
That's one of the problems I have with the animated adaptation of Batman Hush, is that they changed the ending. They changed the identity of the villain completely. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to adapt this comic book, why not adapt the comic book? If you're going to change it, why not just give me something new?
Right.
You know, if I'm going in, I'm expecting to see this book in an animated form. I expect the entire story, and that includes the ending and the reveal for the villain and all of that. Why did you
I'm
change
trying to
all
remember,
of
was Hush, was that actually Jason Todd, or did they change that at the
it?
end?
No, it was a different character. What they ended up doing is they changed it to Riddler in the animated.
Oh,
So Riddler's not even. Why did you? What? It's
I think with
completely
the,
out of the blue.
I think the original version with Hush is that it was supposed to be Jason Todd, and they ended up changing the comic as a result.
They changed the comic. Yeah, the comic book was different, but they completely changed a lot of the third act in the animated picture.
Got it.
It's like that's completely
Since-
not necessary.
Since Nick's not here, I will say this: the change in the Watchmen, I think, was actually for the better for a movie.
For the movie, yeah,
and it was definitely, they stuck to the story pretty damn close.
Yeah,
but the change to the ending, I think, worked for a movie, and I think the other would have come off
There's
too
times where
goofy.
that's fine, because like The Mist is a really good example of that, where Stephen King is like, I think the movie ending was better, and I thought The Mist was a fucking great movie. A lot of people hate that movie. It's a great horror film.
Well, as far as the Watchmen goes, the octopus, the giant monster octopus at the end doesn't make sense unless you have the rest of the storyline that leads up to it.
Right.
And you didn't have that because, you know, for whatever reasons, Snyder knows you can't. Well, then you'd be looking at a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
4.5, 5-hour movie, but you can't do that because you have all of these scientists disappearing and going to the island and all this other stuff, and then
That's
you
why
have
it's an adaptation.
Yeah, so you take the main core storyline, the spine of the story. Yeah, you got to change the ending because the one that they had, depended on this other storyline.
It stayed true to exactly.
You had to create something that was a threat.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings was probably the best 3-movie trilogy ever produced. Okay, now it left out a whole lot of crap.
It did,
but J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings rambles for about 250 pages before he finally gets, I'm writing a book.
Get to the point.
Exactly. But you know why? Because that's what he was doing. He was just rambling on with stuff. He was an English teacher.
Yeah.
All of his stuff is ramblings until, I got to publish something. And then he published The Hobbit, right? That was a children's story. And suddenly, oh man, we need to get serious here, right? So there's a lot of those books you need to cut out to make even the films that they made, even the extended editions, right? So I think you have a great point, I think, Jason, with the animated versions. It's so much cheaper to do an animated version, not having to do CGI, drawing, and all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
Then that is where you can do a more niche adaptation that certain people are really going to like, and they're going to buy it again, and they're going to buy the special merch from it and all that kind of stuff, right? Your true fanatics, your true fans. The rest of it has to be overly generic, and you've got to make 7 out of 10 films. Right? You make 7 out of 10 films, that's going to get to your normie base that are just looking to have a good time. And what Marvel really fell apart with was starting to hammer the message.
Yes.
A critical drinker, 100% when you start using the message, that's exactly what happened, right? There was a part of the Ghostbusters 2016 film that I really liked, and then they started hitting the message, right? And it may be the turning point and all that some things from there, but that's what She-Hulk, the message. It was funny as hell, and I wish we'd had 5 seasons making fun of that shit.
Oh my God, that'd be so beautiful.
We're getting 5 seasons of the Rings of Power, so the awards of power are still on, baby. But yeah, you can do more with the animated series, just like you could do more with the cartoons. That's where those things belong. The Star Trek animated series is still my favorite out of all of them. Bring it back to Brahma's favorite subject. Yeah. But the animated series, they could do aliens in ways that you could not do.
Yeah, that's how we got Lieutenant Eric's and Lieutenant Mress.
And all that stuff from there. So those are the things that I can sit there and wish that they would make a really good Valerian, okay, because that was my favorite comic. But you know what? There's not enough money. I'm not going to have $250 million to put down for that film to be made, and they did what they thought. It was somebody's interpretation. It got that kind of money, and we have what we have.
I mean, I never read the series, but I thought the movie was okay. I didn't hate it.
It was, for the movie of itself, it was good. I don't think that they cast the right male lead.
Actors, yeah.
I wasn't, Evangelista, whatever her name was. I didn't know at the time who she was, or whatever. I thought she was fine. But the spectacle of it, it was very much an Avatar-esque spectacle movie, because those Avatar films all suck.
Yeah,
they are awful.
I'm
The
not a
first
fan.
one didn't get interesting until the battle scene at the end. It was the last 10 minutes of the film.
Dances
It
with
was-
Smurfs.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all
it was
is.
only really interesting because it was the first one that was like 3D really being used the way they
Yeah, it was creating
were
this
trying to
world.
force
Yeah,
3D on us
technology.
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like going
But
on
I
an
think
E-ride
part
at
of what
Disneyland.
Hollywood's problem is they don't understand their own medium sometimes.
No.
They don't
I
understand
agree
when a
with that,
story
yeah.
should be a TV show versus a movie versus an animated thing.
Right.
Like Wheel of Time should always have been an animated thing. I don't care which style of animation, but that story is too big to do anything but animated. The Dark Tower never should have been made into a movie. It should have been an HBO series, just like Game of Thrones, that
100%.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're getting into these epics, especially since we all like sci-fi and fantasy, really movies are not the way to go with epics because
Right.
there is too much in it to be anything but a TV show or an animated series.
Well, it's the reason why I mentioned like the whole thing with like comic books. They make better TV shows, in my opinion, than movies.
Yes, because villain of the week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Batman is a character that was designed. I mean, not literally designed, but is perfect for television. Perfect for serial, not just serialized, but episodic and serialized television. They could do both with that.
Yeah.
Well, to
Well,
go
and-
back to Star Trek, the lead actor in the original series, William Shatner, did a shit ton of television. I mean, if you look at Boston
TJ
Legal,
Hooker.
TJ Hooker, we all watched it. It was a good
Why did we watch it? Because it
television.
had Bill Shatner.
Because it had Bill Shatner
And we're getting a movie.
Heather Locklear, right? But
Yeah.
Boston
Legal was one of the
Legalist, Danny
greatest shows
Crane,
ever.
he was phenomenal in that.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah,
Boston
it
Legal?
really is a great
Oh, yeah.
show. And he knew where his bread was buttered and where his wheelhouse was. And he stuck to that. And he had so many television actors that, I want to be in movies and all that stuff. Okay. Some of them can translate, some of them can't. Amy Poehler, she couldn't translate. Christopher Pratt could.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he basically had to worm his way onto the set, onto the audition for Guardians of the Galaxy, because they didn't want him. And it's like, after they'd seen everybody, it didn't work. They said, okay, I'll see him. And boom, that was the one. He knew within, the first minute or so.
But he also transformed himself from chubby funny to,
Yeah.
funny leading man.
actor. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go look at Parks and Recreation, he is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
So maybe
especially in
it's
the
this
bloopers and
50,
outtakes.
440, 404 Sight Unfound site or whatever. I mean, he did some things on that show. It was really freaking funny. But
There's the other thing too, going back to the whole thing with Marvel, is that there's a great book called "What Got You Here Won't Get You." I think it's "Won't Get You Here." All right. The idea behind the book is that there are certain things that, when it comes to a business, or specifically this is talking about business, what got you to this point will not get you to the next point. And that's the problem that we're seeing right now with Marvel. The whole
Change
thing
or
with the
die.
ad-libbing, not having a full script and whatnot. Yes, it got Marvel to here, but it's not going to get them to here, the next point.
Yep.
And that's the issue that we're seeing.
What got you here won't get you there by Marshall Goldsmith.
Thank you. That's it. And that's the whole point of that series, is that it's the reason why companies change in leadership, specifically when it comes to startups, is that you have an individual with the startup mentality that may not have the corporate mentality that will get them to the next point in their journey as a company.
It's basically the whole idea behind the TV show Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You can only scale up an idea so much on your own, for the most part, without needing help from somebody who's actually scaled up something past that point before.
Yeah. Well, and it's also the idea that it's like you may not have the mentality or the ideas that will get you to that next point.
Right. Well, it's the story of Blockbuster, Sears, Montgomery Ward's.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All gone.
All of them never
Sears.
adapted when the technology around them changed, and all of them are gone.
Mike, too long. I'm also quietly talking. Trying to be.
Why is Toxic Man Flu's mic too low?
That's the first time it's come up tonight, so I think it's probably not the mic. It's probably just you're not.
Well,
yelling.
you know, I fell asleep.
Well, and you talk about adapting. We were getting ready to do that because we had done live broadcasts from Worldcon and from Planet Comic Con, and the big setup, and kind of like with political coverage or the Olympics or whatever,
like going to Amfest or something.
Yeah, and we were there and we were doing this stuff, and then COVID hit. And all of these conventions suddenly realized, oh, hey, there's this thing called the internet, and we could live stream panels. We could do this ourselves, and our entire model just evaporated after that, because everybody started doing it because it took me 6 months to get the Worldcon people to understand what it is we wanted to do. And when we were there, because it was here in Kansas City in 2015 or 2016 rather, and when they were here and they saw the setup, was it 2015? 20 anyway, it was here when they saw the setup, the cameras and the lights and the computers and the stuff. They're just like, "What are you guys doing?" It's like, we're broadcasting. You're live right now, and you can see the light go off, and can we do an interview? I was like, well, yes, that's why we're here. Come on down. And we did 53 interviews in 5 days. Just boom, 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 one right after the other. When they finally figured it out.
Broadcast.com.
Yeah.
All these people are doing stuff on radio. It was very easy to take those radio feeds and play them through a regular board, right? I was doing that anyway. And you just satellite changed those things, and then you just had to set up there, and you were putting it out over the internet. He sold that company to Yahoo for like $700 million, and it wasn't worth shit 5 years later because everyone went, oh, we have copyright laws on this.
Yeah.
And it totally screwed Yahoo over from that end, but they bought that hook, line, and sinker. You want to talk about a guy who did the bait and switch. Bill Gates also did a bait. Bill Gates hadn't built anything in his life. He's stolen it.
No. Well,
just
or purchased it.
And I will say this, just like the dude that started Apple.
Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs stole a lot of shit. He didn't build anything.
What did he actually steal? Because I know that
Macintosh
Wozniak basically.
was Lisa. That was the whole thing from Xerox. He stole it from them. His boards and stuff and everything. He didn't build those. Wozniak built all that shit.
No, I was going to say Wozniak is the one who really built Apple.
Yeah, he's
Jobs
the one
was
who
just
built
the face
Apple, so
man.
Right,
Wozniak was the brains behind everything.
Yeah, and then Wozniak had enough of him and left.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that, in fact, the iPod, that whole movie says, oh, he came up with a touchscreen and all this stuff. No, the only reason they come up with a touchscreen is because they forgot to patent the dial interface. Microsoft did with the Zune, and then he had to start paying 20% royalties to Microsoft.
Yes.
And Bill Gates was laughing at him, and then he started going off the engineers. We need to have this stuff and things from there. And then they just, once they had the iPod, touchscreen, they decided to go with the phones.
Yeah.
And the only reason they were able to win that one is that Research in Motion was so fucked up with the BlackBerry.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Time.
Well, there was another thing. I was watching a video on this today. It was talking about the whole thing with I'm trying to remember who was in charge of Microsoft during that time period. When
Steve
they
Allen.
basically, yeah, when they released the iPhone.
Gates was a thief too. Yeah, Lisa. Gate. Yeah.
Well, because what ended up happening is that Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer mocked the idea of the iPhone.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
Yeah, and it fucking destroyed.
Though I can't
a
stand
lot of stuff.
The one thing that they were all right about, the Research in Motion guys and Steve Ballmer, the keyboard, the thumb keyboard, was a much better interface.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have a glass keyboard, it's based on heat, and as you get older, you have less capillaries in your fingers.
Right.
Older people have a lot of problem with that. So the boomers have had a lot of problems with these phones, and they wouldn't have with the typing. But it's about screen real estate, and I can have a bigger screen to watch a movie or something on an iPhone at the time, and then only type when I needed it.
That's the one thing I switched my phone to a fold.
Oh yeah,
bigger screen.
Well, yeah, and for me, tablets. I have a tablet if I want to watch it, but I don't. You know, most of your stuff that you have to do for YouTube, you got to do it for a phone device. A lot of people have that, but I've also gone back to using these more stripped down versions of Samsung and Motorola phones because they're under $200. I'm not going to spend, $1,500 for a new iPhone.
No,
it doesn't do anything for me.
$500 for this.
See,
I got it
get
off
those
Woot.
now, the folds, right? You can get those off, and that's I've got a Flip 3, and Samsung Flip 3, and it's fine. I like the fact that I can fold it and I can sit it down and I can record stuff and it does all that and everything.
Yeah,
but
this got good speakers too, which is nice about it.
You've got more real estate.
Yep.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with miniaturization.
Well, even with my old Pixel, which is basically this, the thing is, size wise, the fold is a little smaller, and it's a little awkward to hold. This one is perfect when it comes to listening. This one is kind of wonky, but overall, if I put on speakerphone, the speaker is fucking great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
reality is we'll all have Elon Musk phones in the next couple of years anyway.
It'll be in our brains.
So the guy
his actual
that
phone.
everybody Tesla. All the libs came out and said, we're not going to buy Teslas anymore, right?
Yep.
All the conservatives decided to start buying Teslas because, if they're going to cancel Elon Musk, we can't have that. First dude to be worth $500 billion.
So fucking funny.
And he was looking not great with, and SpaceX. There's nothing out there anymore in NASA fucked up with Orion. Blue Horizon has failed. And that's the Amazon one. They have failed at that. The space plane one has failed. So the only thing that we have of getting stuff up there is SpaceX.
Yep.
He's making bank off of that.
Well, and a lot of it's not a vanity project like Blue Origin was for Bezos.
Right.
This is something that he actually believes in. This is his life.
He had a plan.
Goal.
He had a plan from a very young age.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he executed that crap. And that's
everything
that's
has basically been a means to an end to get him to Mars.
He's autistic as fuck. Right.
Which has kept him on target this whole time.
This whole time. Exactly. That guy's a little weird, but just get out of his way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's
all
hell
right,
bent
folks.
on repopulating the earth by himself.
We're going to go wrap things up.
You need to read the starred stuff and whatever super chats you got to while I was gone.
Yep. I'll get those right now. All right. Randall Arcer says Rollins balls hang like clackers. If you remember those.
I remember those.
Indeed. Yeah. March 47 celebrating 29 months as a member.
Thank you.
Culture is queer. How queer? Godzillionaire says the issue is only one side wants to actively destroy the other. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true. The Dead Man says, how did NASA... Yeah, we already got that one.
I talked about that one.
Yep. Peter Chase, helicopter tours for $2. While I was in the hospital, I saw an iPhone commercial showing new phones being used as film cameras in indie practical effects films. Yes. Maybe Apple is for good.
Yeah, if you do venture over into Facebook for even 5 seconds, all you get is that ad for the iPhone being used to shoot movies.
Yeah, I've seen video clips on LinkedIn as well. A lot of indie filmmakers do that because it's
they've
compact.
been used for a while, actually. It's
Yeah.
not new.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos on YouTube to show you how to do that and how to make cinema quality in a super small budget with just the phone.
Okay,
it's all about your film
Apple
rating.
is trying to use U.S. produced circuits and chips and things like that.
There's a great video talks I want to send you talking about the whole thing with Intel and the government deal and the whole thing. One of the big problems with Intel and the reason why Intel is basically tanked, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have not kept up with mobile processor development like a lot of these other companies.
Yeah, Intel's always had a lot of problems. U.S. chip market really got screwed by Bill Gates because the Intel processors were dramatically inferior to Motorola. Apple Macintosh was using Motorola. IBM clones were using the 8088 chip from Intel, which was a chip designed to run traffic lights. Okay. That's where it came out from. And Bill Gates went out, did his little shady deals, got the clone market and all that stuff. And we got a lot of clone computers, but my first network I put together was an Apple Talk Macintosh network. It was literally all plug and play, and there was stuff you had to do behind the scenes, but it was a way better platform and much faster than anything that Intel had. And Intel sucks.
All right, Pinochet for $1 says, I don't know. Will the AI be a cunt and wag her finger and push her ideology on me?
Yes,
that
she
depends
will
on the developer.
$9.95 a minute.
Yes. Magda Norris for $2 says the short hair and libtard glasses are creepy. Yeah, they kind of are.
Jason's right there, man.
That is true. Dead Man for $1.99 says Hola, hombres. And Pinochet for another $2 says
Pinochet.
you all underestimate my desire to see entitled Stuck Up Hollywood take a hit. But that would hurt someone like Polly's family. So karma may need to find another way besides AI.
Polly could always sell his body. He is a very good looking man. Culture says that he wants it. So there you go.
Dead Man for $1.99. Tilly is already in ST. Admiral, there be whales.
There be whales.
Pinochet for another $2. While I was in the hospital, I already got that one. Okay. Retromeister for $10.
Hey,
and the topic of AI generated characters, AI was never meant to be for kids. And it is the same argument of the 90s of blaming the content and not the parents for raising their kids better about using AI. Yes. Not just with AI, but anything when it comes to children's programming, like we were talking about on Thursday, parents need to be involved and they need to know what their kids are watching because they could be getting indoctrinated in shit. So, and granted, you can't watch your kid 24/7. So there's that. Nicholas Horton for £5. It's weird that's coming in as pounds, but okay. When do we get the Hobbits division trilogy with Tox as evil Sauron character and Ian as the Hobbits in Fro? How about never? I say that in a meme or when I'm doing it. Also Joe for $1.99, whatever. And Cole Hauser Ara for 2 Canadians says, Hail Comics and crew. Hello.
Durka Durka.
Durka Durka.
Durka Durka.
Durka Durka.
I started something from Pinochet. Did you get that?
Let me check. Did you just do it?
Hey, Tox, the 8088 chip runs the original NES. Yes, I rest my case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here, boys. We'll start with you, Jason, who is not paying attention to his screen.
I don't have very much going on this week except Saturday when we have number 900.
Wow,
on Saturday.
900?
900 episodes. I don't know what time yet. And it's going to be a come and go party for a lot of different people I got to send invites to. But yeah, we're going to be 900 installments as of Saturday. Very excited about it. Other than that, we're doing doctor's appointments and lab work and all sorts of fun stuff.
And I also need to get... Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and we talked about Tilly today on the show. We talked about J.K. Rowling. I caught up because we've been gone all last week, so had a good show today. So, and it's always good to be here. I'm glad to be back.
We're happy to have you back as well. And here's Brahma.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be on Mad's new channel. Also, the wife is taking the grandbaby and heading out to Kentucky, or Tennessee, where the daughter moved to. So I get to be a bachelor for the next 5 days or so. So I'll probably be doing some game streaming at night when I'm not on streams because now I don't have anybody to tell me no.
Just gonna paint the seats.
It was pretty funny. Your message to me was at Saturday, and you're like, "What are you doing up at 2:00 in the morning?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
playing Stellar Blade.
I was not expecting you to answer what I had sent you, and then I was like, "Wait a second, what the hell is he doing?"
I ended up ending my tabletop game early and decided to play some Stellar Blade because my players decided to go a different direction. It was like, I did not read the rest of the module. It's like,
oops.
Well then, because I was going to have them do something else and then I was going to come back to it because there's a bit of a time jump between not going to say sessions, but stories. And rather than do this one thing, which I thought they were going to do, they did something completely different. I was like, I'm totally unprepared now.
And now we're screwed.
Yeah, now we're screwed. Yep. So we ended just like a couple hours early. It wasn't like super bad or anything.
And let's see, Thursday back here, Friday is Sin and Art. Saturday we've got Bourbon and Boarding. Sunday we've got the Bullpen, which last Sunday we had Gasoline and Vertebrate on, and he just released a new EP, so go check that out. Probably just look him up on Twitter is the easiest way to find him.
Yep. Brian's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time. So, yep, I'll be around this week. Catch everybody later. Cheers.
See ya. And here we go from Sabretooth Raptor. This is the ship design that he's working on. Kind of curious to see how things turn out with it. And Toxin Manflu has memes.
I do? Yes, I do. Here we go. All right, here we go.
No way, look at this
That
dude.
70s rock fan, he looks like somebody's grandpa. Why is he holding a sheep?
It says it comes with an inflatable sheep, bro.
That's hilarious. The beard is even in the kit. Imagine wearing this to
No way, look at this dude.
70s rock fan, he looks like
That
somebody's...
70s sheep shagger.
Yeah, Robbie's done a bunch of these. This was good. Comics Bondecker. And that looks good. Yeah, I'm stealing that one.
My God.
There you go. Yeah, look at that. Wow. That's from that dick shooting movie. Yeah. Let's see. All right, we'll go to this one. All right. Overlords apologize. We will reset simulation to 2015.
Please do.
We just wanted to see what you would do. Explain, spokesman. That's hilarious. Me heading to another planet because I couldn't switch lanes. I'll get that one. Don't worry, it's just a rabbit.
That's not what I saw.
Yeah. Grabbed it. As we get older, our eyesight deteriorates. I can hardly make out the name badges. Yes.
Why would you try?
Yes, that's awful. That's awful. Here we go. So that's me participating, I guess, in the sombrero thing with that looks
With
like
Polly.
Schumer. Is that
Pretty
Polly?
sure that's Polly. Pretty sure it's
Polly.
Polly.
Makes sense.
Or Michael
And
Knowles.
then,
Or
there we
Michael
go.
Knowles. Yeah.
And that looks like Alex Stein.
It does. It could be. I float around with the best of them. Oh, okay, yeah.
Nick.
Here we go.
Oh, look at this one! 32 flavors of Nick Weiser? That's a real costume? It even has the dude on it. He looks kind of like Lenny from the cartoons. Check this. Includes all 32 flavors and a sample spoon. Best costume.
Whoa, check it out. Culture
Look
Casino.
at his hair. It says includes wig and beard. And glasses. It's got the whole vibe. The hair's a weave, right? That's Look so down here.
Deluxe set includes smoking.
Whoa, check this one out. Brahmable? He's got a cigar and everything. Look at the jacket. It's like fancy but mean at the same time. It comes with real bull's milk. That's gross but kind of awesome. I'm totally... Whoa, look at his skin. It's like
gross,
glitter
but kinda
slime.
awesome.
And the hat. It has gears on it. That's so cool.
I want to be as gay as Talks on Halloween.
Same. Look at all that.
Whoa, look at this Comics Division. That's so cool. He has the little mic and everything. The hoodie even has the logo. I want to be him for Halloween. Me too. I'm the same height as him. Then it's perfect. Oh my gosh, they made a costume of this guy. Look at his shirt, and it's called
this
Tom
guy.
Connors. Isn't Tom the one who rage quits Flashcast because they talk over him? Yep, comes with the attitude and everything.
Has Tom abandoned us?
Gayest one. Tom
Oh
was
my
in the
God, that was
hospital
fucking
today.
hilarious.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is he the one that rage quits Flashcast?
Because they talk over him. Why, Robbie, did you say I was the only gay one on the panel? That's not fun.
But
oh
true.
no.
Just a little shimmer along the top of these letters. Let them glow like they're fresh from the forge. On the Monday Night Meltdown, happy accidents are common. Look at that, all melted and friendly. I think you'll like it. Just a little
We
shimmer
really
on the top
should
of these letters.
integrate that.
Let them glow.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
you've got a lot
boy.
of the stuff Robbie's been doing. I needed some help on some things, so I've got some Three Amigos stuff he got me.
Timmy, have you ever watched movies about gladiators? Timmy, have you ever watched movies about gladiators?
It just sounds like an old hippie. It doesn't sound like Culture Casino.
He does. It's like an old hippie. That one we've seen. Shake Ian K. Don't stir him. Oh yeah, yeah. Do not.
Why am I
stir
Asian?
the Asian? Well, because whenever I ask for you guys, Gronk to make you guys avatars, it makes you all Asian. It's because you're all on the roof.
I mean, you really shouldn't shake comics anyway, because you should never shake a baby.
I see sombreros.
Fuck you, Brahma.
Just a size comparison.
That was good though.
We do this not because it is easy, but because we thought it would be easy.
We did think that starting out, yeah.
Sorry, my life.
No, I'm not going to touch grass. That's where ants have sex. If people make you sick, then maybe you should cook them longer.
True.
True.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Goss, adults who like excuses to party, sluts, fat kids who like candy, Halloween. Yeah. Look at the slut angle.
Fair.
All right. I am
Slutty
sorry,
costumes.
but we do not have hooker bots, and I do not know what grab a booze means. It's a good thing I'm here, pal. You don't know how much you need me. Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
The sad thing is I know which episode that's from.
Which episode?
It's the one where they find Lore.
Oh, the Lore thing.
That's the split screen where he's talking to Lore for the first time when with the crystalline entity.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
First season.
Yeah, first season was so good. I'm going to hang a Batman costume in my closet just to screw myself when I get Alzheimer's. Was I the Batman? Yes.
Yes.
Play with it. Go with it. when I have no idea how to comfort my friends, but I try anyway.
A Band-Aid.
Band-Aid. Looks like it can. All right, let's see what we got here. Chief O'Brien, nobody has seen your wife in over a week. Is she okay? I'm not sure, actually. Last week, she was complaining about wanting a fairy tale life. So I beamed her into a forest with a loaf of bread. Oh, that's good. I was working at a glue factory when I met my first girlfriend. How did it go? We bonded immediately. Nice. I received a top secret message from Starfleet, but the only word I could understand was eggs. Really? Sounded like the message was scrambled. Oh, God. All right. Keep scrolling. We need to get to the bridge. All right. This one I found somewhere else that was great. I've only been with one guy. The one guy. I thought that was good. Oh, you all right, Kat? She jumped off, I think. Oh, this is a dick. Here's the guy that lives in TikTok, but out there. Card Titan was banned from Magic the Gathering because he wore a MAGA hat to something.
That's fucking retarded.
It's crazy.
Did you guys go over these at on Sunday night?
Yeah, we did.
Cool.
I bailed, so I didn't see them.
You see him?
Yeah.
Well, here's Brahma out there. Survived a government shutdown for 4 years, just saying. So I thought that was good.
Biden sleeping through 4 years.
Yep.
What would you say you do here? FBI told you. I convinced people to be domestic terrorists. So we have domestic terrorists to arrest. What the hell is wrong with you people?
It's accurate.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Punks before, fuck the world. Punks now. Voting is great. Love your government. Trust the system. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Ramones. Here is your precious Muslim congresswoman at Al Qaeda training camp in Somalia. She's trying to get this picture blocked. Okay.
And her brother right behind her. Brother husband.
Okay. Brother husband. Brother, mother, lover. Coworker, how many times have you thought about quitting today? 43. Yes. Non-essential federal employee.
Pretty much.
Yep.
No, Argentum, the picture of Omar is not real.
No, that was fake. Democrats want to ban free speech, confiscate guns, and enter your house without warrant to check for guns. People openly saying they will violate your First, Second, and Fourth Amendments are telling you Trump is a threat. Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Senior Jeffries on his jackass. Yeah, that's good. God, she is. God.
Yeah, Bungalow. These are from Sunday night show.
Yeah. She's. God, she's annoying. Give fascists a platform. Okay, that's good. How the left acts. I'm in danger. How the left is. I am the danger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Left, if they had a brain, are we the baddies? Yeah, that was
In fact,
a
you are.
funny show. CNN. I get that. Oh, that's funny.
See.
Oh, I gotta let Red Balls. You got any more of them sombrero memes? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of steam. Democrat legacy media, propagandist network. Una sombrero.
sombrero.
That's fucking funny.
That is so
fucking
accurate.
true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
My God. And you can just tell on the look of disgust on Hakeem Jeffries' face. Every time he walks out there, tries to say something, that he knows there's going to be a sombrero and a mustache put on his face. It's pretty damn funny.
It's fucking
Within
hilarious.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a journalism. My grandpa really wore this in public. Paper beats rock. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, that's got to be shopped.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, nobody's going to be out there. All right. All right. I don't want to read all that crap. Pods of orcas are ramming migrant boats off Spain and Portugal, and scientists don't know why. That was good. All right. It's time for bed.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Enjoy some credits. We will catch you next time. Also, hi, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Courtney's like, I just got here.
Hit the Memorex.
Yep, you can watch the replay.
I don't know what show you saw, Keely, but you keep watching it.
Keely says that to be nice to everybody.
Yep.
It's Becca Chan.
Fuckity boy!
Bungalow Logic, another viewer snowed over. Later, nerds. Night, Tina. Hey, that's a double bigot to you, Mecca. Look at you. Sorry you're furloughed, dude.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, my wife is too. She's working without getting paid.
Yeah.
Hockey starts tomorrow.
Acknowledgement means everything.
Southern Belle, if you're still out there, make sure you set your lineup, because I don't think you were at the draft, so I want to make sure you realize you're still in the league.
Is she in a league of her own?
As a drafter, yes.
That's pretty damn funny. That was good.
I tried.
I cannot believe the Broncos beat the Eagles either. Mahalo.
I stopped watching the NFL, so I saw that it
The
happened.
Bad Bunny thing, where he came
Yeah.
on Saturday Night Live and said, "Oh, yeah, you better learn Spanish." I'm like, okay,
Yeah, screw you.
not watching the fucking Super Bowl. It just getting to the point where I decided I would watch a few of the college players that I knew who are in the NFL. One of them is the highest paid lineman.
I'm kind of curious to see if we're going to have a record low this year as a result of that. The whole Bad Bunny thing.
People haven't been watching the halftime show for a while.
Well, Turning Point's gonna put on a separate halftime show. They're looking at getting Creed.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Night, everyone. Take care.
Should be Alice Cooper.
Catch you next time.
All right.
Night.
Night.